Oh my God. So, can you see me? Okay. Hello, 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 hello. I am hoping that you can all see me because I have had a lot of trouble. Um, I've had a lot of trouble with this whole thing. So, can you see me and can you hear me? These are the two questions that I need to know. And there is a huge delay. So, we will see how this goes. Maybe I should take off the whole slow situation. Viewer activity. Okay, I'm going to wait till I hear from somebody. How do I deal with the slow commenting? Okay, I need someone to. We see you. Okay, can you see and hear? I'm so happy that you can see and hear me. Can I just tell you, yesterday this entire thing was working amazing, and today it has been nothing short of a shit show. I'm not gonna lie. It's been super stressful, but I have my wine, so here we go. So this is what I'm gonna say. Hi, I'm Elena of the Witch's Box, and we're having our Turo and Oracle deck happy hour, and I am so excited to be here. I hope that it works out. I hope that we can get this together. This is new for me. So I've got my camera here. I've got a screen here. I've got your chats going on here. And so we're going to see how this goes. It's probably going to be a little awkward, but we're going to work it out. We're going to do the thing. So every once in a while, I may need to take a little bit of a pause to look at all of these controls and to then pay attention to what's happening here. So yes, we're on slow mode. Hey, Kim and Jesse and Misty and Layla and Jacqueline and Candace and Divination Witch, Terry Dawson, Angela Bannister, Marianne Davis, Angela, Barbara, oh my goodness, Billy, Emma, Endless Awareness. Oh, great name. I'm loving it. I'm so happy you can hear me. Thank you for loving my hair. I have some rosé. Someone had suggested rosé. Here we go. I've got some rosé. I also have water. And also because I need a lot of variety in my life, I have a latte. So, all right. All right, hold on a second. Let me do a real quick thing here and see if I can change the chat. The chat situation. Hold on. I'm going to take this out of slow mode just because I don't think that we need delays because we already have way too many delays. Okay, so save. Let's see how that goes. The mode is on too. Okay, let me read this. We hear you. We love you. I love it. Thank you. Drinks are going. You know what I also have? I have to get used to looking at the camera here. I am on a keto diet, so I have these. These are the best keto cookies you've ever had in your life. And so this with a latte or this with rosé is actually super delicious. So I highly recommend if you have chocolate chip cookies in the house, those are a great snack. All right, let me just take a look at what's going on. Watching this on mute in a busy coffee shop. Will this be saved? Yes, it will be saved to watch later. So you can watch this in the replay on our YouTube channel. So it'll be here. So yeah, like that. Let me really quickly acclimate myself to what's going on. We've got Elliot here. Thank you so much, Elliot. Elliot is managing the chat. I'm going to go into really quickly what we're doing so that we can kind of settle in and just jump in. So I'm sorry that I'm not looking at you all the time. I'm working it out. Okay. Okay. So hold on. There's Elliot. Hi, Elliot. You finally got my name right. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Did I? Layla. No, did I? Here, let me ruin it now. I said it right a minute ago and let me ruin it now. I'm so sorry. Slow mode is off, was just on for a minute on my end. It's hot in Oklahoma. I need to start a keto diet myself. I really like it, Marianne. I have to tell you, and this is not definitely a diet channel, but at some point maybe we can all hang out and do like morning chat here when I work it out. And we can talk about food and health because I love the keto diet. Okay, so I just switched from, I hope I don't gross you out, I just switched from my rosé to a little hit of my latte. All right, this is what we're gonna do, hold on. Okay, I have a lot of cards. I have a lot of decks. I have several, like there's a pile here. I have a couple of piles that I wanna show you. My hope is that we can get through them all, but if we don't, we don't. I have them sort of organized in groups that sort of make sense just to kind of get themes together. And also throughout the entirety of our time here, I am going to we're going to do a giveaway. We're going to do several giveaways. And I'll tell you when I bring up the deck to give away how we're going to do it, but I'm going to tell you now so that it's just kind of in the back of your mind so we can maybe streamline the way we do this a little bit better. I was so stressed out by this not working that I'm having a hard time chilling out. So as I continue to talk, I'll come back into center, I promise. This is how we're going to do it. I'm going to hold up a deck that we're going to do a giveaway for in a little while. And the way we're going to do this, because of the way this works and how I'm not really used to the platform and Elliot is managing a lot on his end, I'm going to hold it up. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to show you the cards. And then what I'm going to have you do is, if you want them, if this is a card deck or a deck of cards that you really want and you'd love to like enter to win for, then share your Instagram handle. We'll do that for 3 or 4 minutes while you all post your Instagram handles. And randomly, Elliot is going to close his eyes and just choose one. And then later, he will reach out to you on Instagram DM to get your mailing address and send them out. Right now, I have 4 decks set aside for giveaway today. There may be a couple more. And although there may be a deck in the giveaway pile that I may keep because I'm still conflicted about it. Here's what you need to know. They're all opened. They've all been touched by me. None of them are cards that I've used extensively, but if you have questions in terms of how to clear it, I'll clear it before I send it out. But if you have questions about how to clear a deck, we can talk about that as well. Okay, I'm going to pause. Everyone take a sip of whatever you're drinking and let me see what I've got going on in the chat. Wonderful. Okay, beautiful. We've got Anzug, Magnolias, Heather, Psychic Misty, Summer Smith. I'm loving Emergence. Oh my gosh. Emergence Mervaldis Springer. That's gorgeous. What a gorgeous name. Beautiful. Yes, everyone, please check your DMs on Instagram because every once in a while, we're reaching out. Let me also say this. I have a couple of announcements and then we're going to dive in because I have a lot of cards and I want to talk about all of them. Endless Awareness. We can't play if we don't have an Instagram. Elliot, what other way can we, yeah, don't list your Instagram yet. Wait till we do an actual deck to give away. But Elliot, if you have any ideas, if someone does not have an Instagram account, what other ways could they... Oh, well, there you go. Elliot just told you how to do it. Elliot is on it. I have a couple quick announcements. Right now, talking about giveaways, we are in the middle of our Solstice book giveaway. So not now, but later when this is over, the last booktube video that we have on our page is the June book giveaway. We're having that through next Tuesday. So it's a gorgeous stack of books. If you want to enter to win that, check that video out. So that's announcement number 1. Announcement number 2 is that we are in the middle of a Solstice sale. We don't do sales very often. It's a 10% sale on our single products. It's a great sale. And the code for that sale is Solstice. So definitely if you're interested in buying stuff and you haven't bought anything from us before, but you really are kind of like, I don't know, sales kind of the thing that you're waiting for, we're having a sale now through Solstice on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it's midnight on Monday. Either way, the coupon code for that sale is Solstice. Boom. That is the next announcement. Hello from the Philippines. Yes, I'm excited too, Red. Usually warm. I love it. Great, great, great. Okay. This is how we're going to start this. I'm so excited that you guys are all here. I am so excited. All right. So really quickly, let's just do it. All right. So let's start with the best news of the day. I didn't know this. Elliot told me this maybe a couple of hours ago. As you all know, if you've been watching on IG Live when we talk about decks, and I think also I've mentioned it in our deep dive gatherings for the Witch's Box and potentially for the Book Coven when we get together live. I have a Turo deck that I have been using probably since I got it like in 1998, maybe super duper early 2000s, but I think it was like 1998. I've had this deck that long. It is like what I consider to be the deck that is my soulmate. Like we all have a deck that we go back to, even though you're going to see I have decks that I love and that I use. We do the Inner Revealings Tarot blog post every Sunday. And for that, lately I've been using pretty extensively Kim Kranz's, I'm looking at it, the Wilde Unknown Tarot, because I love that too. But the deck that I use for my own divination, the deck that I use if I was going to read for other people, I haven't done that in a long time, but when I did, this is the deck. And I actually found the book. So this deck has been out of print for a long time, and Elliot told me today, a couple hours ago, that they're reprinting it, which is the best thing ever because this is such a gorgeous deck. It is the Karl Roarig Turo, and this is the book. I finally found the book. I don't know if you can see it, so I'm going to hold this up for a while because my camera is on a huge delay. But this is the book. I thought that I had lost it, but I hadn't. This particular deck I actually have, and I hold in like a little special box with like a little extra magical trinkets going on inside that I'm not going to show you because, as you know, there are things that we need to keep secret. But this deck I love. It's an unusually long deck, right? I don't even know how many inches it is, but if you look at it, like, it's faded. This deck is dirty. It has been with me everywhere. Camping, like, it also smells a lot like patchouli. Because some of the stuff that I've got in this box was anointed with patchouli a long time ago. It's a gorgeous deck. I love this deck. And when I first saw it, I fell in love. Like, I don't know, it called to me. I also am a visual artist and I like mixed media. So I'm a collage person. And this is kind of a combination of collage, illustration, painting, and I just really love it. So this is the High Priestess card. It's beautiful. Here's the Knight of Swords. I love this deck. Elliot will be posting links to where to get these in the description section of this video. That'll probably live there once we've like created a recording for it and it just stays on our channel. But also, Elliot, if you can, and anyone's interested, you can post the links in the comment or the chat. But remember, don't leave. Just kind of save that link for later because I want to keep you guys here. But look, it's got a very sensual vibe to this as well, which I really, really love. I don't really have issue with nudity. I should have probably warned you. This is probably, I think, the only deck with nudity. So if you've got little ones, that's the only, I think, potentially inappropriate card. Let me find another deck. Here's Temperance. Not another deck, but another card. So I love it. I love it. This is my deck. This is my deck. There are a really powerful imagery. Like this is this Ten of Swords. Look at that. It's the kind of imagery that just, I don't know. I love it. And what you're going to find is most of the cards that I've chosen are really because of the work. The artwork is what calls me, and I think that that's probably true of everyone. But this is my deck. So I'm going to move on from that, but there you go. If you have any questions about this deck, I will look at the comments while I put this little book away. Hold on. Emergence, you're asking when, as in the time, do you go live on Tuesday? Lately, I'm not getting any notification for some reason. On Tuesdays, I'm going live now at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I'm in California. Let me scroll back to see if I've missed any questions. There are ways to do certain exciting things here on the chat, like highlight some comments, and also I know that there are super chats and super stickers and all those things. If that happens, that's great. It doesn't have to, but know that I'm still trying to figure it out. So if I don't highlight a comment that I'm supposed to highlight, I will try at some point to learn how to do that better. Just to let you know. Yeah, the cards are huge, Marianne, and so when I shuffle them long way. And sometimes it's hard, but it took my hands a while to get used to doing it. It just spoke to me. And it's one of the easiest things, right? When people are like, how do I know which is my deck? Sometimes you just have to go through different decks over the course of your life that you just have phases with, right? That you have favorites that you do for a while. This one, it was just like immediate. I remember at the time I was shopping with a friend and she had the same experience. I don't know if she still uses a deck or not, but it was a thing. It was a moment. Yeah, the art is gorgeous. It's so, so gorgeous. Hello from Victoria, Canada. Hi, Canada. That's my card, Temperance. Beautiful. The artwork, yeah. Okay, so that's that. All of the decks, including the Roarig Tarot, are linked in the description. Refresh the page if you don't see them. Perfect. Yes, thank you, Elliot. So I'm going to put this away. I'm going to try to manage to keep this situation in somewhat of an organized fashion, so just bear with me. This deck is a Centennial edition. It is the Smith-Waite Tarot deck. I have this for photos, but I wanted to share this with you, because it's one of the decks that I have, but also because I get the question by a lot of you often, what is the best deck to start with? And my answer to that is always going to be Rider-Waite-Smith, or the Smith-Waite Tarot deck. Because when you get the books out there that talk about reading Tarot and learning how to read Tarot, I would say 99% of the books that you're going to read out there are teaching you how to learn the Tarot based on the imagery and the symbolism of the Rider-Waite based Tarot. So Rider-Waite did a Tarot deck. Rider-Waite-Smith did a little bit of a different take on that, but it's still the same symbolism, still the same colors, still the same imagery. And the same thing with the Smith-Waite. So you've seen these before. This one's a little bit older school. These are teeny, as you can see. It's a whole different size. But I like it because if you are a beginner and you really want to understand the history and the symbology and the stories of each card, this is where you're going to get the most meat, because most of the books that you're going to read out there are going to be talking about the imagery. Then after that, and I've talked about this before, it took me a long time. So I talked about how I got the Karl Roarig Tarot, whatever, 20 some odd years ago. I already had Tarot decks of my own. I did start with the Rider-Waite-Smith. I actually don't have that deck anymore, because I'll tell you what I did with them in a second, because it's a great idea when you have extra decks and you just don't know what to do with them and you don't necessarily want to give them away. I started with this deck, a version of this deck, because again, as I said, I was reading, I was trying to learn the meanings, and every book that I was picking up spoke to learning how to read the Tarot based on the imagery and the iconography and all the things that are in this deck, right? Then once you have a feel for that and you speak that specific, like, beginner foundational language, it becomes so much easier to then switch to another deck that has completely different imagery. You're going to see that in this particular box, because I'm starting with the Tarot decks first. Where the imagery is so different, the symbology to those decks are so different than what you started with, but it's like you have a foundation now, and you can take what you learned from that first basic foundational deck and then add to it, because now the new deck that you're working with that may not be Rider-Waite Tarot will come in with a language, or a dialect, as I like to call it, of its own. It just makes the learning that much easier. And here's the thing, it's not an overnight thing. I mean, we're talking years. I'm still learning so much about the Tarot, and we're here like 20 some odd years later, and I'm still working with them. You know what I'm saying? So know that. I know that a lot of people get super duper discouraged. It's like everything in witchcraft. It's a practice that's lifelong. We're constantly reiterating. We're constantly learning. We're constantly refining. So all of that. Let me stop. Let me take a little drink. This rosé, by the way, do you care? Because I'm a foodie. Did you know that? I'm a total foodie. I found this in our refrigerator. It's Apothic Rose from California. I got this. This is not, we have no affiliation with them whatsoever, but I got this from Costco because I like wine, but I don't like spending a lot of money on wine. So let me take a drink and let me look at your comments really quick. Oh, Elliot, did you just pin that comment to the top? That's some serious skill. Okay, hold on. Watching from England. Jacqueline, welcome. I'm so happy that you stayed up. I don't know how long we're going to go. So we'll see how this goes, because we are already like 20 minutes in and I'm only on the second deck. So let me see what you're saying and then we'll go from there. Yeah, the cards are great. I love that. Okay. Okay, no, we're good with the comments. Marianne, you do. You get a gut feeling when you know. And if you don't know, but something is calling to you anyway and you want to buy it, don't think that, I certainly have a lot of decks here that you're going to see that weren't like serious like gut pulls, but were beautiful and I wanted. And we'll talk about that, because I have a box of just like art appreciation decks that I've never really used. And I'll show you that soon. Okay, so Angela, you just brought up the Holistic Tarot book. Yes, Emergence. Thank you. That's a great suggestion, that when you first get a deck, sleep with it under your pillow to do some dream work in terms of communicating in the dream time with it, to get a feel for it. I'm going to show this to you, so hold on a second. Okay. I talk about it all the time. I talk about it incessantly. It is kind of embarrassing, the amount of talk that I do about this book. And I actually do have other books on the Tarot, but I say this over and over and over again. This book is like the beginning, the middle, and the end of all the things. It is massive in the United States. It's a $29.95 book. In Canada, it's $35. It's not cheap. It's not cheap. But this book, if you want to learn Tarot and you're a beginner, if you want to work with Tarot and you are an intermediate advanced person, this book covers all of that in so many amazing ways. I have a video book review on this book that you can look for later so you can get more details, but this is the book that I recommend. This is the book that every time I do an IG live and I talk about it, I never have it in front of me. So I very purposefully pulled it off the shelf and put it here in front of me so that I can show you before we start. This is the book. This is the book. She did a phenomenal job. And she's now working on, this is her name, Ben Belwen. She's now working on a Tarot deck. If you follow her, I think it's her personal profile on Facebook, but she may also have a group or a page. She's sharing her artistic process in creating her deck. It's a fun, gorgeous thing to watch. So she'll post things every once in a while, and it's just a fun behind the scenes. And it's nice to have that kind of experience of, oh, this is a deck that's going to be coming out soon, and you've seen the transformation and the evolution of how she's created it. I can't have it. Every witch who loves a Tarot needs to have this book. That's all I'm going to say. Boom. All right, so there's that. Let me check out what's happening. The rosé is good. It's not amazing, but it's good. It's good. All right, so Layla, there you go with that book suggestion. Yes, this book is so good. It's such a good book. Hey, Patchouli and Sage, welcome. Amy Vaccaro, yes, it's the best. It is the best book. It's the best book. I have an old deck that I borrowed from an old neighbor just to look at, but then she moved before I could give them back to her, so I'm kind of scared to use them. You know what I would do? I would ask her, if you don't have any way to get a hold of her, do a cleansing. Just clean them out. Put them in a bowl of salt, ideally with no moisture. If you live in a super moist environment, like humid environment, don't do that because that can ruin the paper. You can cleanse them over smoke, any kind of herb that you like to use that you smoke. So you can kind of wipe them clean and neutralize them, and then feel for it. Sometimes you have to do it several times if it's a deck that's been used forever. Like for instance, there's no cleaning me out of this Karl Roarig Tarot that I've got because I'm all over it. Like it's now just part of my making. But sometimes if you've only used decks, like the decks that I'm going to be giving away, I've touched and I've looked through, but I've never really fully used. It's not going to be a difficult thing to kind of wipe my signature off of that. I will be doing that myself, and then you can go ahead and do that if you win. Oh yes, Angela, thank you. Ben Belwen also does have a YouTube channel, so she's great to check out. I mean, she's kind of amazing, I have to say. Sipping on some Mike's Hard Cider. Boom. Really cool red. Yvonne is here too. She can't find the chat button. I don't know how to... Oh, Yvonne! I don't know how to tell her to access... Yvonne, how to access the chat. Elliot, maybe you can help her? I don't know how to do that. Because I'm looking at a whole other screen, so I don't know what's happening. All right. You ready to move on to the next one? This is my Tarot box. I don't know if you can see it in the stuff. I bought this. I actually don't know, and Elliot could probably tell us. I don't know if this is actually on Amazon. I think you have to go through her website. I've been following her on Instagram for a while. This is a gorgeous deck. It's created by Laura Zuzpan. I don't do a lot of readings with this, but I do a lot of photography with it. It's a beautiful deck. It's a gorgeous... I'm going to show you the back. This is the back. So the red that you see is very matte, and then you've got the metallic gold. I don't know if that comes through in the camera. And then this is something I've never seen and I love. So, usually you have really shiny gold or silver leafing on the sides or edging on the side. This has got like a gold, but it's matte, which is beautiful. And then if the light hits it, you see like the teeniest infinitesimal like glimmer. It is beautiful. And I don't think that it's going to It may not translate for the camera, so it is what it is. But these are these beautiful watercolors. Check this out. Come on. And if you're artistically or aesthetically minded, it's really hard not to collect these because I really feel like all of these decks are works of art. Sometimes I just look through each of them to feel good. You know what I mean? You want something beautiful to kind of like leaf through. These are really very, they're subtle, they're light, they're a little abstract. So reading these is challenging for me. When I read these, I tend to just go off of whatever emotion the imagery evokes. And then later I take a look at what the card is supposed to be and then let that language kind of come through. But this is what I mean. If you don't know how to read tarot at all, starting with a deck like this can be challenging unless you really have great facility in just receiving information, and then this is just kind of a prop. And I don't mean prop in the sense that it's fake as much as it is. There's something unconscious about holding something and laying it down and letting it be a portal for the information that you would have received anyway without the card. Does that make sense? So they're really beautiful. They're very subtle. And again, this is the High Priestess. Check this out. This is super, super abstract, right? But I love it. It's really beautiful. Elliot, is this on, I think you can only get this on her website. Let me see. Yvonne is here too. Okay, I saw that. Okay, so I'm chatting on the phone. Yvonne needs to be logged into her Google or YouTube account to be able to chat. Yes, that is true. I just remember that. If she's not seeing a chat box. Okay, perfect. Thank you for taking care of that, Elliot. Emma says, do you recommend learning from a book or a person more, or if both, pros and cons for each? Emma, that's a good question. I think it depends on you and how you best learn. I learn a lot from reading, and I learn even more if I'm reading and then writing notes in the actual book. There's something about that entire process that kind of brings things to memory. And an example of that for me is that I'm learning how to speak Italian on Duolingo. If you don't know what Duolingo is, it's a free service to learn a bunch of different foreign languages, and I'm working on Italian. And it's all very audible, it's all very audio and visual in that way that you can only really do if you're on a device. But there's no writing. Like I haven't seen a graph that tells me these are the 5 conjugations of the word to drink. So because of that, I'm struggling, and I actually end up having to do a lesson and then stop and then literally take notes so that some part of my body is engaged in the transmission process, and then I get it. Does that make sense? And so it may be that you need another person to interface with in a way that might teach you more, or you're going to absorb more than just a book. So it depends. It really depends. If you can do both, do both. If you don't have access to a person for a while, then certainly have books. I also think that over time, learning something in different layers from different perspectives is also great. We're talking about over the last year or so with the Witch's Box subscription, Planetary Magic. We covered a book, we read about it. Now we're doing different spells related to different planets and different energies. And then later, I just read 4 books by Stephen Forrest on the elements. Specifically, like it's about the elements, but it's specific about the planets and how planets move. So that was another angle for me. And the more I kind of approach planetary magic from different angles, the more the whole thing kind of like sits with me. So it could very well be that over the course of your life, if you have access to someone, learn with someone, but also read and see which one gives you more, or do one for a while and then do another, and keep layering different ways of approaching something, because that's really how you're going to get a holistic, right, education. But I think that we all have very different and specific to us best ways of receiving and integrating information. So understanding that about yourself, I think, is really important first and foremost, so that you know where or how to approach what first. Okay. Farm Girlka, love the name. Yay, first time catching you on a live stream on YouTube. So nice to see you. So nice to have you here. And also, by the way, since I'm doing announcements every once in a while I put this deck away, next we did Witch Meditate, those live guided meditations last year. I think we've done 5 or 6. We're going to bring those back. So we're going to start doing that every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here. so that we can just be in the practice together. Let's just get together and do spiritual work as best as we can on this like modality, because I know it's a little funky here, but we're bringing it back. So that's happening next Friday at 10 o'clock, and it'll happen every single Friday at 10 a.m. on Pacific Standard Time. And there'll be more information on what we're doing and how to come and approach the situation and the time and coming together. So there's that. So, okay, we're done with this. Oh gosh, I don't know what to show you. I'm going to show you this. Let me look really quick and take a drink. Where are my drinks? You made it from Korea, Siobhan. Thank you so much for showing up. Yeah, the shape of the deck, isn't that beautiful? I love it too. That's from Heather Rose. I suggest learning from a deck and getting and letting your intuition guide you. Yeah, perfect, Emergence. That's Emerence, not Emergence. Emerence, I'm sorry. I'm really loving tarot artists I found on Instagram. Yes, there are so many interesting tarot decks out there. Yes, Asia. And here's the beautiful thing. There are a lot of artists on Instagram that you can find, and on Etsy that you can find, that are not published, but they're self-published. And it's important to support those. I've got actually, I'll show you a couple of those in a second as well. Let me take a quick drink. Okay. Siobhan says, I found Pimsleur much more helpful for speaking and listening language learning. Oh, I'll look into that. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, I'm definitely a tactile learner first, and then visual, for sure. Those two things. Auditory is definitely my last. Oh, and then Red says, and this is a great suggestion for people who are super duper beginners. Red says, I think if you're super new to tarot, try practicing with oracle decks in order to learn to read with intuition. That's a beautiful suggestion. Yeah, that's fantastic. It's been helping my learning a lot. Absolutely. And we're going to get into some really gorgeous oracle decks. Oh, also, well, I'll tell you in a minute. I don't want to skip around. There's a lot going on. Okay, I love that you're all talking to each other. That's the best. That sounds exciting. Same with me. I keep a tarot journal. Yes, and keeping a tarot journal is a great idea. Yvonne is here. Hi, Yvonne. You made it. I love it. Okay. I have a strange thing showing up on my window, so hold on. I don't like that I'm looking down, but I'm working it out. Layla says, I love the oracle cards we got a couple months ago at the Witch's Box. They are helping me learn more about herbs. Oh, we're going to talk about those too. I'm glad that you're here, Mara. Woohoo! We're here from New Zealand. Thank you for answering my question, Elena. So helpful. Okay, perfect. All right. So I had to get another one of these because this deck I destroyed. It's been with me forever. This is like one of the cards from like my beginnings. So I get a little misty because I had the original deck in this beautiful yellow, like a gold scarf that was silk, and I tied it up and I had things in it. Like, I love bundling sacred cards with like some sacred elements that need to kind of be with them. This is the Mother Piece round tarot deck. Those of you who are older and 90s witches, you've seen this deck, and maybe some of you have seen it too, but this is the deck. It's a round deck. Part of the reason for it being round, it's by Karen Vogel and Vicky Noble. Old school witches from back in the day. Part of it being a circle was because they really wanted to emphasize a non-linear, non-patriarchal idea that it wasn't necessarily just upright or reversed. There were so many different angles from which to look at a card, and so sometimes it would come up like this, sometimes it would come up like this, right? So it just kind of opened up the field for interpretation. The art on these decks, here's the back. It's not my favorite, I'll be very honest, and I almost feel super sacrilegious saying that out loud. But I love these cards so much because it was so much a part of just the beginnings of my witchcraft and my discovery about so many things. And so to that end, it's very much a deck that I just love. It's a sentimental deck that I don't use very often, but there's this. And again, this is the Mother Piece Tarot. Here we go. So yeah. It's a great deck. So I'm kind of have a little bit of a mess. I'm going to show this to you. This is the Chariot. And then I need to manage what's happening on my desk because now I've got a bunch of decks that aren't quite boxed. So hold on a second. While I look at what you're saying, I'm cooking, I'm watching, listening. Oh, I love it. I love it. Multitask. Yeah, I love Oracle cards. We may, after I finish this particular first box, I'm going to do a giveaway. So we've got a few more to go. What are your thoughts, opinions on tarot journals? Worth purchasing or print from? Oh, Farm Girl Cut. What are your thoughts, opinions on tarot journals worth purchasing or print? You know, I don't know of many. I'm going to try to say this carefully. I don't know of many specific tarot journals. There is one that's making the rounds right now on social media, and I got it. Note that I have not reviewed it. I didn't like it. I thought it was very rudimentary. I thought that people could probably come up with something of their own that was probably much more detailed for themselves. That's not to say that there aren't any good ones out there. I just don't know of any. I've always liked creating my own journal like format for the times that I do notes. And so I always have like a little box in the page where I can either I'll do like a photocopy of the deck or the card, and I'll cut it out and I'll stick it in there, and then I'll do notes in terms of what I've read about it, when I used it in a reading, or when it came up, or what the meanings are, like all of those correspondences that you just kind of want to have in your journal. But also with a section where I just kind of do freehand writing about my thoughts and what I get from it and what my hits are. That's always worked for me. I also know that in our community, we've got some amazing Bujo, like art journal people who create really beautiful layouts of their own. There are online, I don't like this, but I know I'm about to at some point make a booktube video about it, but there are downloadable spreadsheet files with very specific columns and topics and things that you can use to kind of organize your thoughts and notes on different things, including the tarot. The idea of doing something like that on a spreadsheet makes me super twitchy. Like I can't be I'm a Libra. I can't be having like spreadsheets for my spiritual work. It has to be a beautiful journal. It has to be imagery. It has to be collage. Like, so we're all different. But there are a lot of people who are putting that out there. So Pinterest might be a great place to just look for easy, free downloadable or cheap Etsy type downloadable digital files that you can then print on your own. But other than that, that's all I can tell you in terms of my opinion, because I've never really felt the need to find a printed tarot journal. And I bought the one that's making its rounds just to see what it had. And I was a little disappointed. I just didn't like it. So there's that. Yvonne says, I'm using the Witch's Wisdom Tarot. I started day one and I'm working through card by card. I love it. I don't actually know the Witch's Wisdom Tarot. I'll have to look it up. You have the same birthday as mine. Okay. Love it, love it, love it. Oh my god, yeah, isn't that old school, Mara? That's some serious, it is 90s witch. I'm a 90s witch. It is super, you're going to see another old school one in a second. I remember being a little girl in the 80s, and most of the cards I saw were like that. So many beautiful ones nowadays makes it so hard to choose. It's really hard to choose. Okay, let's see. Beautiful. Birthdays are being shared. Oh gosh, there was a skip. I'm using a composition notebook. Yeah, sometimes it's just a composition notebook or like a moleskin for sure. Elliot, I don't know why. Maybe you see it as well, but there was oh my god, I can't even talk. There was a comment that was like held for review, which I'm sure doesn't need to be held for review. If you can kind of let them be seen so that people aren't silenced. I don't know why YouTube is doing that. Siobhan says, I'm the same way about things. Can't have a bare bones spreadsheet for something I really want to get into, right? Like, I just don't think, some people think really well that way. It's just not my thing. Spreadsheets can be beautiful. Data nerd. I love it, Magnolia. Beautiful. Okay, let me keep moving because now it's getting a little, let me show you this. You all have probably seen this deck because I've used it for many things. It is the Santa Muerte Turo, Book of the Dead. I know you've seen this because I've used this. This is a gorgeous deck. I think it's Llewellyn. Llewellyn puts this out, actually sells it, but it's by Lo Scarabeo in Torino. They do a lot of really gorgeous decks. This is the box, and then this deck is just exquisite. I love using it during hollows and that time of the year. It's a beautiful, I use this deck mostly to decorate my altar at that time of the year. This is the back. I feel like I'm going super slow. We're never going to get through all these cards, you guys. I don't know how we're going to do this. Okay, so this is the back. I don't know if you can see it. And then, I mean, I'm going to try to find one that isn't super detailed so you can see, like, there are such beautiful, the imagery and the art for this deck is exquisite. I'll try to find you, like, look at this. It's beautiful, 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 beautiful. Let me try to find, there are a couple here that I love. You know, it's like, look at this. What? I know, I can't. Come on, come on. It's an exquisite deck. I feel like everyone should have this because what happens is that this is the Queen of Cups. What happens is that when you put together some gorgeous altar for Samhain or Hallows or All Saints Day or Day of the Dead, I mean, this is such a beautiful thing to add. It really creates just a great vibe. And look, this is Justice. Love it. Love it. I just now got that little warm feeling you get when you're drinking alcohol. And I haven't even had that much. Look at that. So that's this deck, and I love it for just its altar decor at this point. And sometimes I'll do reading. I think once, if I'm not mistaken, maybe twice, I've used it for an ancestral, like, communication during that time of year, but mainly I use it for my altar at that time because I just feel like the imagery is gorgeous. So that's that. I think I'm going to give this deck away. So we're going to do our very first giveaway. This deck is called the Uncommon Turo, and it's by Shaheen Miro with a commentary by Teresa Reed. This is the outside of the box. This is the side. And I'm going to take a little, hold on. Okay, hold on. The Santa Muerte. It's a beautiful deck. I love it. I know. So this is what I'm thinking I'm going to do. When I finish with the deck, I'm going to scan the comments and then I'll do the next deck. That way I need some organization. Yeah, the deck is gorgeous. I have seen that one and it's beautiful. It's beyond beautiful. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Layla, Elliot just posted where the link to that deck is. It's in the description section below. Oh, you're welcome, Siobhan. When I bought that deck, I got one for my mom and Bestie too. Right, Jessie? It's really, really pretty. What a creative take on the Tarot art. It's stunning. It is really evocative in such a gorgeous way. So we're going to do our first giveaway. Here's the thing. Let me show you. I opened this. I've touched this, right? I've had this for a while. It's called the Uncommon Tarot. This is the outside of the box. And it's a really great, sturdy box. I feel like Vanna White. Do you know who Vanna White is? I'm just aging myself left and right. Okay, so this is the inside. I think the book is actually upside down. This is the book. And Elliot, if you can maybe just even, I don't know, I trust you to organize how we're going to keep track of what deck for who in whatever way possible. But this is the imagery. It's kind of collagey. The colors are, I love the colors. They almost seem a little antique-y. Oh, so by the way, yeah, you know what you're doing. Okay, good. I was going to say, I forgot. Why? Why are these messages? If you post something and you don't see your message, it's that YouTube is acting a little wonky, but we're hopefully in the background trying to fix that. I don't know what's happening. But yes, just if you are interested in this deck, give us your IG handle. There you go. This is the white. And also, this is a tarot, but the names are not what you're used to. For instance, this is Wise 1-5. So it's definitely a very different tarot in the sense that it's not going to have the common structure that you're used to. And some of the names are different. So like this is the Lovers. You're familiar with Lovers if you're familiar with the deck. And this is Chariot, but then there are others that are a little bit different. But there's a book, so there's that. So we're doing our first giveaway. If you are interested, give us your IG handle now because I'm going to start packing this box away. And it's called the Uncommon Turo, and it's actually really nice. I love it when they give you like a sturdy box because it's so protective. And it's by Shaheen Miro and Teresa Reed. All right, our first giveaway. Good luck to whoever is supposed to have this deck. This is the deck that I was thinking of doing a giveaway, but then I started looking through it and I thought, I don't think I can give it away. So, hold on a second. I'm getting some strange message from the YouTubes. Okay. Okay, I think that we're okay. We'll see how it goes. All right, this is the Field Tarot by Hannah Elizabeth Fofana. The art is very simple, super, this is the side, very subtle colors, soft. This is the book. It's really very pretty. Hold on, I need to make a decision. I can't give this away, sorry. Sorry, I'm not ready. But it's a very beautiful, subtle, soft art. I don't know anything about Hannah Elizabeth Fofana, and I say that because we're going to come up on some decks with people that I do know a little bit about, and I wanted to talk. What I love about this deck is that there's a lot of diversity in this deck, and the art is really, really beautiful, and so that's very likely why. This is the Empress, which I love. Look at this. Right? It's a completely different take. But it creates a lot of, I think for me, it creates a lot of just imagery that I really love in terms of the personality and the vibration of the Empress. Love it. This is the Emperor. This is the Hierophant. And these are the Lovers, which I also love. There you go. So that's that deck. Let me look. All right. Let's see. It is different. I know. Here's the thing. Siobhan, you're saying, haha, keep the ones that speak to you. I have too many. There are so many. I was telling Elliot earlier, I'm like, I have a little bit of like materialism shame. Like, I don't need all these decks, but I love them so much. So I was like, I need to get rid of more. And then I thought, no, I'm not ready. So I won't get rid of it if I'm not ready. But for sure, it's a thing. This, I talked about this on an IG live, I don't know when, several weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago. It's called the Dark Days Tarot. I saw it on someone's Instagram feed. And I just loved that it was square. I loved that it was black and white. I love the illustration. I think that I had to get it through the actual website. The website is darkdaystarot.com. It's $50. It's not cheap. It's, an independent artist. The box itself is beautiful. And then you open it and you have all these different illustrations on the side, which is so, so lovely. Right? All the suits. And then you get like some little stickers, little cards that came in it. And hold on. The name of the artist is Ren McMurdo, I think is how you pronounce it. And then look at these cards. I just love them. Here's the thing. I love the artwork. This is something that maybe can be used for aesthetic, for whatever. But reading with these cards is very hard for me because the shuffle is really uncomfortable. It doesn't bend, and I have small hands, so usually a smaller deck is easier for me. But I really I just didn't feel it, which is so sad, but I love the imagery. So this is the Sun. And then I saw this back here. This is, oh my God, I can't see. This is the Eight of Cups. So it's really beautiful. I really love the artwork. and it's varied, simple, but really some of these images are really powerful. It's just hard on the hands, and I'm so bummed out because one of the things that really called to me about the deck was that it was in a square. I love that format. It didn't work, and I'm wondering too if maybe, I don't know, if maybe they were bigger, it would have been a little easier, or sometimes you need to break in a deck because they're just stiff. I'll play with them a little bit more, but at this point right now, this is a deck that I would use. I talked about this last week on the live, or on Tuesday for the live, that one of the ways that I've used Oracle decks is that I'll go through each and every, so for each day of the week, I pull just one card and use it as a journal prompt. This would be a deck, even though it's the Turo, this would definitely be a deck that I would do that for. However, I've actually chosen a deck for that I'll show you later, because I know a lot of you are curious about that, and I have sort of a lot to say about the deck that I chose. So that's this deck. Hold on. Let me see what's happening. A lot of things are happening in the chat. It really is beautiful, and I'll keep trying to play with it, but for now it's the aesthetic of the deck that I love. Hold on, let's see what you guys are talking about. Loving all these decks. I know, I'm so glad, because I'm feeling bad that we're gonna be here all night. Elliot, if at any point you need to leave, you can leave. I'm so sorry. Giving away deck. Yeah, giving away deck is not easy to do. The Lovers one is cool. Yeah, I love that too. I like decks with a shamanic energy to them. Angela, I have a couple of shamanic decks that we'll get into for sure. Your girl's got a lot. I can't even show you what's happening on my desk, because I had to get, I had to break down, like cut off the lids off of your empty subscription boxes, like the cardboard boxes, so that I can then like put decks in them and then write on the side. So I've got like the theme of that grouping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 of those boxes filled with cards. It's out of control. All right. Yes, Angela's running. I have material. Skeleton says, I have materialism shame too. I mean, usually I don't. I'm a Libra. Let me say, I'm a Libra. So I love things, and I love things when they're meaningful to me. And normally I have friends, not a lot, but some of my friends are like super hardcore, like minimalists. And there's always some kind of discussion like, really, do you need all that? I'm like, listen, I have no shame. But this, when I pulled them all out, there was like a little bit of like, partly because they're so neglected. Like, I feel like these are living entities, and there's so many that I can't possibly give them all the attention that they deserve. Like, it's wrapped up in the story. Like, I have a story. I have a story about them. All right. Oh, Julmar, welcome. Julmar, I just showed a deck that was very much like a 90s witch thing. I don't know if you were here for that, but I'll pull it up just so that you can see it, because I feel like you would know this deck. If I can find it. Maybe I spoke too soon. Where did I put that deck? Oh, here. I don't know. I'm sure you must know this deck. But there you go. This to me is like such a nostalgic thing. I will never part with these ever. Okay. I'm going to move on to the next deck. What's my newest? We're going to get to that when we get to, I have 3 decks that are astrologically inclined. Actually, I have 4, but in that particular bundle, I'll show you. It's a beautiful astrological deck that I really love. Yeah, love the black and white vibe. I will definitely be giving more decks away. We just did a giveaway a few minutes ago, and maybe in a couple of cards, I'll do another giveaway, because there's more. Candace is also a Libra. Libras unite. Woohoo! I love things too. It's my guilty pleasure. Love the dragon and their treasure hoard. All right. So this deck is fairly new. I don't actually know exactly when this was published. It's recent, and it's been making the rounds. You know me, I have to criticize all the things. I hate that. We need to stop, people. When you make Tarot decks, don't do these flimsy boxes, because they just get destroyed. It's the Occult Tarot by Travis McHenry. This is a deck that I got because it's not a deck that I'm probably going to use for readings, but I got the deck to learn. Like, there are what I feel are occultic imagery and information that I'd like to kind of dive into a little bit and kind of expand my learning. This is not my area of practice at all. And in fact, often when we talk about planetary magic and we put out the boxes, I don't actually work with the angels or the archangels of the planets. I kind of veer in a different direction. But you know me, I'm all about the learning, and so I definitely still want to know. So when I got this deck, it's really about that. It's not really about using them for readings, although who knows? You never know. Things change over time. There's always like mysterious kind of vibe and look to occult imagery that I love. So there's that. So I haven't used this yet. I don't really have an opinion on this other than really the reason for it was to kind of dive into something that I'm not familiar with to learn more about. I know that this deck is making the rounds and it's quite popular. It's from 2020, right, Ellie? Yeah, it's recent. It's quite popular. People have been taking photos of it all over the internets and all the things, but I have yet to dive into it. I'm hoping in the next month I've scheduled some days off for myself. So maybe that will be when it comes out. All right, this deck is the Hush Tarot, which I think I promised you that I would look at the comments before I switched cards. Yes, I feel more shamanic and yin yang energies in there. Yeah, beautiful. I always have at least a handful of decks. Season Wee Moon says I miss it just joining. Yes to Mother Peace, even though I don't have it in my collection. Beautiful. Spell check, I missed it. Okay, so this is the Hush Tarot. I got this on a whim. It's by Jeremy Hush because I saw someone posting about it. You know, most of the things that we learn about is on the internet. I love the art. The art is gorgeous. It's, I don't even know what this is. Nine of Swords. It's Nine of Swords, but the imagery doesn't necessarily tell you that it's swords. You have to look at the little code image or symbol on the top, which I like. I don't normally work that way. I'd like to see what we're talking about on the card, but I love it. It's art that you really have to look at. There's a lot of detail. This is a beautiful, look at this. This is gorgeous. So I really like this. And the box that it comes in is a hard box, so it kind of keeps everything preserved. Here's what I'm going to tell you. This is a deck that I would not use as a, no, that's not totally true. I would definitely use it as a tarot reading in a spread, but I would be more inclined to use it as a one card pull deck. I often like to keep my life simple. I don't do super elaborate 20 card like spreads. I don't. I will do, usually I like 4 or I like 1. And if I need more, I'll throw down a couple more, but I don't like to keep going. I think that oftentimes the message that we need is there, whether you have the card there or not. Do you know what I mean? So this is a deck, because the art is so robust, it's so beautiful and so detailed, and it's really evocative for me. This is the Devil. Look at that. I mean, come on. What? The artwork is so evocative for me that I wouldn't actually need to do a spread. I would like to really, when I look at this deck, I want to just get lost in the art of the one card. And oftentimes, if you are used to doing a spread with tarot to do a reading, and you want to try the whole one card pull, you can use, like, look at the card, like lay the card down, look at it. And if you know tarot and you know, let's say it's the 8 of Cups, you have an understanding of what that means, of what it's speaking to, of what the themes are around that. You might even have deeper layered understanding, like what astrological meaning that may have and placement and what the arc, like you might know a lot, but it's just one card and you feel like you need more. Then you can use that imagery and that card and those symbols as kind of a meditation portal to kind of go deeper into the divination download. So there are different ways to use the tarot in that way, where you don't have to necessarily rely on a spread with many cards. There's nothing wrong with either one. It's just different ways of approaching the same thing. So, Hush Tarot. There you go. Then you look, you drink. Here's my one. I want to hear what you're all drinking or noshing on for your little happy hour hangout with me. So let me know in the comments. The occult card is good if you are studying. Yes, thank you, Angela. Exactly. It's just, for me, it was about learning. So Dolores, you're asking, can Turo be used as oracle cards as well? And absolutely. Much in the same way that I just mentioned, just pull one card for sure. All right, this deck came with a lot of things. And this is one of the decks that I struggled with whether or not I was going to send out. And when you see it, you're going to want me to do a giveaway for it. So hold on, let me look. Magnolias says, I hear you, Elena. Anything more than 5 cards gets muddy for me. Yeah, and this is similar to the fact that when I do blends of anything, of herbs, I like to, 5 is almost too much. I hang out with 3 herbs, and I like to blend just 3 ingredients. Rarely will it be 5 unless I'm going to add an oil or something else to the mix, but I like to keep, I'm going to say this for the rest of my life because my friend uses this phrase, and when she uses it, I feel like there's so many lessons to be learned, but I like to keep my signal clarified, or clarifying the signal. And when you add so many things to the mix, it's like now you're dealing with too many energy streams. Keep it clean. Keep it simple. Julmar says, I agree, 1 to 4 cards, and the conversation I've sought ends there with a curtsy. Beautiful. Amy is I don't know what this is, but I do know what this is. Candace is drinking Irish whiskey. Amy is drinking Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey. I love it. Marianne has a watermelon and kiwi truly drink. Scarlett Darkwood drinking water fairy oolong tea from Living Tea. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Water, and oatmeal cream pie. Love it. I have water. I think I told you I have water, an iced latte, and a rosé. I like to have options in front of me, and I have cookies that I'm not going to eat because I can't possibly eat cookies while talking to all of you. So Candace, also knows as a Tullamore Dew. I'm not a whiskey drinker. I'm a vodka drinker. Misty's drinking Coke Zero. Wine drinking will commence later. Beautiful. Summer's got Captain Morgan Jack Blast. Lovely. Yvonne says, oh, Elena, I love the artwork of the Hush Tarot. I have to get this deck now. I truly enjoy reading 1 card at a time. Yeah, it's a beautiful deck. It's a really, really beautiful deck. Jesse can't have a drink until the sweetie gets home from work and takes over toddler duty. Yes, please be responsible. All of you. And okay, so Yvonne enjoys reading 1 card at a time, probably because I'm trying to build a deeper relationship with it. Yes, and that's a great way of doing it, especially in the beginning. But then again, I mean, look, I'm 25 some odd years in, and I still really like just on the 1. It depends on the deck, but for that deck in particular, I love it. Excuse me. Emirates, that's funny. Root beer for now. Thank you, Elliot, for reminding everyone. The links to all of these decks are in the description. How often should one do a reading or pull an oracle card for themselves? You know, Dolores, it depends. And this is my answer. Like I was saying earlier, and I was talking about it at the IG Live on Tuesday. Excuse me. It depends on what you're doing and why you're doing it. So with that oracle deck that I pulled out on Tuesday, that I now don't even remember which deck it was, but I'll pull it out in a second. I'm sure I'll get to it, hopefully. I'm just going to hang out here until we all fall asleep. We've been on here for, I think, an hour. We might be here for a while, so I understand if you have to go. In any case, with that particular oracle deck that I'll show you in a little while, I would pull a card a day and let the theme and the artwork of that card inspire or inform what I was journaling about as a way of personal excavation and transformation and kind of getting to know myself. It was an incredibly enriching and powerful experience, so much so that I'm inspired to do it now, and I'll show you what deck I'm going to be using for this next round. So you can do it that way. You can do it as pull a card a day, as in terms of what will I meditate on today. We are working with Sun Magic right now for the Witches box this month, and so let's say you pull the Sun card, which is a powerful card. There's so much associated with that card, but a meditation, like a personal meditation, could be How do I shine like the sun? How do I keep myself from shining like the sun? And let the card talk to you about that. So you can use it in that way, or you can use it in a divinatory way, which is, what is it that's going to happen to me today? Or what do I need to know about what's going to come today? Or, you know what I'm saying? You can use it in that way. And it can be daily. Or it can be, for instance, most of my divination work occurs on a dark moon, a dark waning moon, because that's the time when the energies are really good for that. There's a lot of divination that goes on once a year during Samhain and that time of the year as well, because we're in the dark, we're in that mysterious place between the veils. But I will say this, we all have done this. We all do this at one time or another. When you are in a desperate situation, you've just gone through a breakup and you didn't want to break up. Something has gone wrong and you're desperate to know what's going on. Sometimes those readings can be really helpful, and sometimes those readings can just help perpetuate the desperation and the reactivity and not the response to the situation. And so it's really about why you're doing it and what it's giving you. I don't, other than that, I don't really have a whole lot of suggestion, because I'm really a proponent of do as you feel. Like, go with your intuitive pull, but know where that intuitive pull is coming from. Because if it's coming from a place of desperation and fear and really clinging and grasping, that's not your intuition, that's your pain, right? But other than that, I don't do anywhere near as much divination work as I do in terms of just pulling a card. It's still divinatory, but it's not necessarily about predictive, like what's going to happen in my future. For me, usually when I pull cards, it's about what do I really need to understand right now about me, my situation, my growth, and what can I learn. That's usually where I'm at with that. Okay, let me really quickly look at what's happening here, and then I'm going to go to this next deck that I actually may give away. I'm kind of at the last minute going to make a decision. Hold on a second. So Season Moon is drinking Yogi Bedtime Tea. Beautiful. Candace also likes to read one card at a time. Oh, well, Mara, listen, water is just as good. You don't have to drink anything extensively altering. I know we're just getting started. We're just getting started. We may have to do a couple more of these videos, because honestly, I don't know what's happening. I'm here. We'll see who's standing at the end of this whole thing. Let's see. Team who won the last deck? Yvonne, I think that we're probably going to just announce the winners through DM, unless Elliot, if you feel comfortable announcing who the winner is, we'll let Elliot decide, because Elliot's kind of handling a lot. So we can either, Elliot, announce who the winner is for the first deck now, or we can just keep it all super secret and then just tell the winner through DM, but maybe that's not as much fun. So I'll wait to hear from you on that. Siobhan says, I need to do that. My Layla Olive Maiden Oracle deck. I want those decks, Siobhan. I haven't gotten one of them yet, and I really, really want one. Major Arcana and then a bunch of, yeah, I see that deck. She's got 3 decks, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And I've been hunting one down. I haven't looked at her site in a while. But the one that I've wanted has been out of stock for a long time. I need to go back, because she does beautiful artwork. I really, really love it. Didn't I say that we love Elliot? We do. Let's see. Oh, Marianne won the first deck. Oh my God. Okay. This is what happens when I don't look at all the... So Marianne, boom. You won. There we go. So write that down, Elliot, because I'll forget. Congratulations. All right. Let me get to this deck, and then let me make a last-minute decision. I use a Dark Moon for readings from my late auntie's deck when I'm stuck. She always comes through with good advice. That's beautiful, Mara. So congratulations. Woohoo! All right. This deck, it's called the Naked Heart Turo by Jillian Wilde. This is the cover. This is the side. This is the side. This deck has come with a couple of things. So it has accessories. It has a divination cloth and tarot spread book. So it's got all sorts of information on different spreads that you can do with the book, but it also has, let's see. It also comes with a cloth. Come on. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it in the camera. Look at this. Oh, I don't think I can get rid of this. Sorry, I'm sorry. The next deck I'll give away. How's that? But this is a gorgeous, like, it came with all these amazing little accessories. It's beautiful. Let me show you the deck. Hold on. So this is the book that comes with the deck. So in the deck, she sends you a note and it says, this deck has been created and set with the intention of providing healing energy, clarity, guidance, and truth. Each card provides insight into the naked heart where ego is extinguished and purity of light flows within you. I am glad we have found each other. Isn't that beautiful? So that comes with the deck. I love that she's buried all these little goodies in here. I think it's the sexiest thing ever. So it's a tarot deck. So this is the, I can't give it, I don't even know what I was thinking. The art is beautiful. This is the Fool. This is the Magician. And, oh, I love this one. I have a thing with owls. This is the High Priestess. Isn't that gorgeous? The artwork is really, really beautiful. And then instead of the Empress, she's got the Earth Mother, which is the same, right? But the names are a little different in this deck. It's actually a mandala. Look at this. Come on. I really love when artists just go above and beyond because it's really about the creating of the art. I love it. All right, so I'm not going to give this away. I'm sorry. I can't. I just can't. But I'm going to pull a deck right now that we're going to do another giveaway for. So get ready to type in your IG handles because we're going to do... Okay, that one was given away. Hold on a second. Mama's got to keep herself organized. We did that. Okay, we did all those. Okay, so we're good. I'm going to put this away. Sorry, I just need to coordinate my organization because this has gotten a little crazy. It's also super hot. Okay, so the first... Okay, we're going to give this away. Let me look really quick at what's going on. I had to turn on the air conditioning so it may get a little noisy. That one next in the list, God, yeah, it's really beautiful. Love a deck with accessories, right? I know. I keep wanting to look at my laptop camera. It's really special. I can't let it go. No, I know I can't. Love owls too. I can see why you can't give it up. It's so beautiful. Gorgeous High Priestess, beautiful. Wow. Okay, are we ready? Remember, for those of you who join later, all of the decks that I'm giving away have been opened and touched and looked through by me. So if that's something that you can't jive with, then just know it's okay. You don't have to enter to win, but all of them are opened and I've touched. So I will cleanse them before I send them out. I will remove myself from them, but also when you get them, I suggest please do your own clearing as well so that you can then claim the deck as your own. So are you ready? This is a sweet oracle deck by Karl. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, you can get this at various different sellers, including her website. It's the Self-Love Oracle, Find Peace and Happiness Through the Chakras. It's a sweet oracle deck. I'll show you the artwork in a minute. So if you want to enter to win this deck, give us your IG handle in the chat and Elliot will randomly choose you. So this first card is called Ritual Sound Healing and it's the throat chakra. So it works with the chakra system. And it's got lovely imagery and these prompts, which I think are wonderful. This next card is called Soul Lesson Perception, which is third eye chakra. It's really pretty. It's a really sweet deck. I really love it. It's kind of like got that feel good. And this one, it's kind of a combination of illustration, collage, and writing. So this one that I just showed you says, desire to know your true self. I don't know if you can see it at the camera, but there's writing in there. This next card is called I Am the Light of My Soul, and it focuses on the third eye chakra. So it's a really lovely deck. So if you want it, start throwing down. I'll show you two more cards and then I'll move on because, you know. This next one is Ritual of Self-Devotion. I love that it prompts you to do ritual this way. It also comes with a little book. I'll show you in a second. It comes with a book that talks about each card as well. So there you go. This is our second giveaway of the night. I kind of love doing giveaways. This is always so much fun. We should all have gifts all the time. All right, get your names in because I'm switching over to another set of cards. This next box that I'm pulling out, I think I've mentioned this a couple of times during our IG live. There's a huge helicopter. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear it. That there are some decks that I've collected specifically because of the artwork only, or that I really love the artist. I don't know why I did that. So this is the first one I talked about, the Tarot Universal Dali. I went through a Salvador Dali phase a million years ago. And in my discovery of, this is made in Spain, so it has a little, wow, that's super loud. All right, we're just gonna have to roll through it. It's made in Spain. In my phase, I mean, this is years and years and years and years and years and years ago. In my obsession with Salvador Dali and chasing him in museums, I went to go see a Salvador Dali exhibit, I think in Philadelphia. I specifically went to Philadelphia to see this exhibit, which was kind of a miserable exhibit because it was so popular that we were literally body to body, baby steps to the next painting, and then baby steps to the next painting. We all had tickets with a very specific entry time. It was a lot. I don't really like going to museums that make you do that, but I was in a phase. And at the time, I had read up on everything, and I read about the fact that there was a commemorative Turo deck that he had created and that was being sold. By the time I got to that museum, they weren't there on sale anymore. I tried to get to the Salvador Dali Museum in St. Petersburg or St. Peters, Florida, and I could never get the deck there. In any case, I had been wanting this deck for forever. There is a woman, another old-ass school witch from the day. Her name is Dr. Barbara Ardinger, PhD. And I knew her because I circled with her in a very large group in LA, 1,000 for a long time. And she happened to live in the same town of Long Beach that I did. This is, again, maybe early 2000s. And she was kind of going through a distash where she was getting rid of a lot of extra stuff. And one of the things that she was getting rid of was her Salvador Dali deck. So I got not only to go to the home of someone who was a teacher and an elder for me, but then I got to get the deck. So, and it's a deck that she owned, which I love. The deck has got gold edging. The artwork is weird. It's just Salvador Dali. He's a weirdo. And so, but for me, it was really about kind of commemorating the fact that I went through a phase where I was all about Salvador Dali for whatever reason. One of the things that I love to do, not witch related at all, but if I go to a specific art exhibit at a museum that's having a special showing, I like to buy, even though they're super expensive, I like to buy the art book that they usually sell for that exhibit. So this was kind of part of that type of collection for me. Again, I look at the art now and I'm not even quite fully remembering or understanding why I went through such a Salvador Dali. I don't actually understand why I went through the phase that I went through, but I did. And it's kind of like a treasured piece, even though the art doesn't really speak to me anymore, because there's such a journey involved in it, and because Barbara Ardinger owned it and all the things. It just, a lot of things came together for me. So there's that. Okay, let me read what's happening here, and then... okay, so the entries are closed. Thank you, Ellie. You're doing that so well. The entries are closed for that last giveaway. Okay. It's a beautiful box. Yeah, it's a beautiful box, and you can tell that it's super worn now because it's traveled with me and moved with me. I lived in Hawaii for my husband and I lived in Hawaii for about 5 years, and I took everything. Even though we have a family cabin here where a lot of my storage is. I took a lot of my sacreds and things with me, and if you've ever been to Hawaii, things don't really last there because the humidity is so intense. And so this box, even though I had it put away, it's just it's coming apart. The velvet or the felt is kind of it disintegrated because of the moisture. It has seen better days, but it's one of my treasures, so there is that. A witch, PhD, oh my, yeah, no. Don't mess with Barbara. I've lost track of her. I would love to probably reconnect with her. I've got several of her books, but look her up. She's, another one of those 90s witches elder. She was an elder at that time. I think she's still alive. I hope so. I'll have to look her up after this. Okay. I don't know which I want to show you right now. So this deck I still belong to, I don't know how I found this artist. I've had this deck for a long time, and he creates limited edition art pieces, art Turo cards, and a bunch of other different types of art. And he sells it, I think, only on his website. His name is James Eve. This was a limited edition for this version of this deck. It came in a wooden box that was got a burned stamp on it. And you give me anything in a box, and I'm going to be super happy. And it comes with like a little certificate with like the number. This is number 49 of 500. So it's a pretty big run when he does one. You can't get this particular deck anymore, but he has others, and his name is James Eads, E-A-D-S. And I loved a couple of things. I think that if you look at all the art that I really love, there's definitely common threads to all of it, but I also, on the whole, there's different types of art that I love. I love that this was monochromatic. This is the Death card. This is the back of the cards. But here is what's super cool about this deck. This deck, if you lay it out, and I don't remember now how it works, but if you lay it out on the floor or on a table, I think in rows of 10 or rows of 15, and you just lay it all out along the table, the entire deck then forms another image. Like it's a whole image, and then each deck is a piece of the image. Even though when you look at each card, they're self-contained images. So I love that. I loved that it was just this art piece. I used to read with this deck. I haven't read with it in a long time, but it's one of those things that I just love, that I liked to collect because the art was so pretty. And monochromatic, and it's like this eggplant color that I like. So there's that. All right. Okay, wait, who won? Oh, Patchouli, you won. Congratulations. Oh my God, this is so fun. I'm missing all the fun. Okay. Well, I'm so glad that you won. Congratulations. Yeah, the wood box for the cards is really pretty, for sure. You have my attention. I love that deck. I've never been able to find who made it. So James Eads is the name of the artist. He does other decks, and he may, I haven't looked on his site for a while. And I think that he still does limited editions, so you buy them through him. And I love that. I think it's great. This next deck is another one of like, I just bought it because I love the artist. It is not created by him. I thought that it was when I got it, but I love it anyway. It's designed and carved by Thomas Hijo, and it's inspired and supervised by Guillermo del Toro. I love Guillermo del Toro. I love his imagination. He's the one who did Pan's Labyrinth. That movie, he did Hellboy. I'm not a fan of Hellboy, but his imagination is staggering. Pan's Labyrinth to me was a gorgeous, dark fairy tale movie. He did the one with The Shape of Water, which I thought was an exquisite movie. Like, he's on a fringe in terms of his imagination and his artistry. And I went to another art exhibit in LA with friends. It was like 3 years ago or 4 years ago. God, life before pandemic, right? And it was an exhibit. And one of the things that really it was an exhibit of a lot of his artwork, like costume designs, and he does a lot of monster work, and like intricate monsters and aliens and different like fantastical creatures. And then there was a whole section in the museum where it was just his drawings and his journals. And I am a journaler. I love true journal art. I'm gonna like probably offend people who do like these like art journals for the sake of slapping a bunch of cute things together without actually having personal revelatory expressions in it, make me crazy, because then I see people like him and his journals are whole constructed universes. It's beautiful. And so just the drawings, just the imagination, just the like being able to look at these pages and see, it's like he's from another planet. Anyway, I saw the deck. I love the artist. I got it. So this is the book that comes with it. And this is the art. This feels very shamanic to me. I don't think that this deck was intended that way, but there's something about the way the art is created that feels shamanic. And I know that I mentioned that. These are lino cuts, I think. These are like the coins or discs. There are others. Let's see. Look at this. This is the Emperor. Look how beautiful. So, just a weird Guillermo del Toro fact. I learned this at the museum. He has two homes, one next to each other. He lives in one with his family, and then the one next door is like its own museum of, and there were pictures at this exhibit of that home where you walk in and it's like floor to ceiling artifacts and created monsters and journals and books and different drawings. And it's, I love super prolific, complicated, artistic minds like that just can't help but continue to create no matter what's going on. Like the amount of work this person has put out into the world to me is just amazing. So this is this deck. All right, I'm going to stop talking for a minute, have a little drink because my throat is out of control. Congratulations, yes, to our winner. Jewel Mart, you have two of his decks. Is it James Eads that you have? Yeah, I should probably go back to look at his website, but I probably shouldn't because, you know, I have more than enough. And there's a link to his website, by the way, everyone, down in the description box below. Hold on. Kim. Marianne loves our... I know, I love our group too. I love that you're all... First of all, can I just take a minute? I love that you're all here with me hanging out on a Friday night with no end in sight, because at this point, we're now an hour and a half in, and I'm woefully behind. But I love, again, I can't say it enough that you're all communicating with each other, that you're totally like, you're in it with me. Love it. Okay, wait, but Kim J, hold on a second. Kim J is saying, oh, that's the black and white deck from the creator of the Cosmovision and Prism Vision decks. He just had a big Kickstarter a few months back. Are you talking about James Ead? I'll have to check that out. I'll have to look at that. This is going to be a rabbit hole adventure. Oh my God. Did I not say get comfortable and bring some food because you're going to need dinner? Yes, Del Toro is legendary. Definitely exciting then. Shamanic meaning what exactly? Shamanic to me has a little bit more of a rustic, animistic vibe to it. Animals that are quasi morphed into human. There's like this, to me, it feels very shamanic travel-y, where there's a whole kingdom of beings on their own. They're somewhat like us, but not somewhat like the animals that we know, but not, if that makes any sense. There's always a very trance traveling vibe to it when I see them. That's the best way that I can describe it. And yeah, Angela's saying just thoroughly connected to the earth, nature, and the cosmos in a spiritual, psychic, supernatural way. And it's also ancestral for sure. Yeah, it's an intense deck. It's beautiful. Can anyone suggest Samhain decks? I will suggest some, Candace. There are a couple coming. So I don't know if you were here for it, but the Santa Muerte deck that I showed earlier. Hold on. Oh my God. Can't actually find that deck. Where did that deck go? Yeah. So the Santa Muerte deck that I showed earlier is definitely, a great Samhain deck. It's this deck. And then in one of these boxes, if I get to it at some point tonight, I'll show you another one, because we have another one that is really gorgeous for Samhain as well, as specifically for Samhain. Okay. Hold on. Mama's got to get organized. Okay, this is the next art in the second to the last art deck. I showed this to all of you on IG a while back. This is the Nick Bantock, the Archaeo archetype cards. You're going to have to look him up, because I'd have to go scavenge through the other side of my office to find the books. But in the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken, there were a series of books called the Griffin and Sabine Chronicles, or the Griffin and Sabine Extraordinary Correspondence. I don't remember. There were art books that were square, small, but it was basically this almost transcendent time communication between two people in different parts of the world. And you kind of got the feeling that they were actually communicating across a different time space. Like there was a lot of mystery to it, and they were communicating with each other. And so each page in each book was either a postcard, and there were letters. It was a correspondence that you were looking at. Some of them had envelopes that you would open and pull the letter out and read. And his artwork was very very surrealish, sort of, not totally surreal, but there was something really beautiful about the art. And so I bought every single book that he ever did, and then I completely forgot about him because it's like, 2 decades later. I somehow came across the fact that he just recently put together this deck, and his art continues, and so I bought it because I was just such a fan of those books and the collage writing combination. This is the inside of the book. And this is an example of the artwork. And what I love, this deck was kind of in high competition with the other deck that I used, that I picked for my Oracle exercise that I'll get to in a second. But this is all archetypes. This is the Arbiter. I love it too because these are archetypes that we don't talk about often, not in these particular names. This is the Arbiter. It's really beautiful art. Illustration, again, I love that there's superimposed writing on top. There's always an element of mystery. For those of you who are gamer geeks from back in the day, there was that game called Mists. Do you remember that game? I can't even believe I'm talking about this now. This deck reminds me of that in some strange way that I can't quite pinpoint. This one is Grace. This one is just Wolf, which is beautiful. This is Hypocrite, which I love. I love that we're going into archetypes that are not necessarily powerful or positive or feel good, right? We've all walked the path of this archetype at some point in our lives. This is the Illuminator. It's beautiful. In fact, I'm going to keep this card on the top, and I'm going to show you one more, and then we're going to move on because, oh my gosh, this is the Dreamer card. So I really loved his artwork. This was kind of a nostalgia art buy. Like, oh God, I totally forgot how much I would spend my summers just kind of looking through the books aimlessly because I had already read them from cover to cover. But there was just something about the book series that I loved, and it was intriguing and mysterious and romantic. And so that's it. Nick Bantock. Let me see. Hold on a second. What's happening here? Hi, Minnesota, Gothic Geek. Okay, I read that. Halloween deck, Santa Muerte. Yes, the Halloween deck. I've got that. In fact, there's one of them that I'm missing. I'll bring one up. James Eads has stickers for journals. I have a few. I love it. I love it. So everyone's going to have to check out the James Ead website to see what else he's created, because I actually haven't been on that website in a while, so I don't know what other decks he's got. We're in it with you for the long haul, Elena. I love it, Yvonne. Thank you. Mara Ball says, Juliet Diaz does a beautiful Oracle Samhain deck. I've got that. I'll bring it out. And I think, Mara, were you the one who told me about the fact that she's got the... Yeah, you were. The Yule... I pre-ordered the Yule deck. I'm so excited about it. Okay. That's going to... Yeah. Oh. If I lived closer, I would definitely organize for you. I'm an analytical Aquarian. I love it. I need... Yeah, let me tell you. I have needs. Oh my God, Magnolia. So Magnolia says, oh my God, I had completely forgotten about Griffin and Sabine. I love... Right? It was such a... This is why it reminded me of Myst, that game. And I don't know if Myst was only on a Mac. I don't remember. But it was this game where there was something so incredibly mysterious about it. And you were almost feeling like you were investigating something that happened in the past. And you were kind of putting all these like details together of this love story. There was something so beautiful about the visceral experience that he created with these books that I had to get this when I saw it. Mists, exactly. I love that we have other gamers in here. I'm not really a gamer. I always really wanted to be a gamer, but I'm horrific at it, so I'm kind of a wannabe gamer girl. I'm not. That last card, right? Lady Justice. Beautiful. I love playing Mists. Love it. Love it. I'm liking that deck a lot. It's a gorgeous deck, I have to say, and I like it for that exercise that I talked about. In fact, I'm going to do one more art-ish deck, and then I'm going to jump into the Oracle deck that I've chosen to do that journal exercise with that I was telling you about. I like the names of those archetypes, yes. This stream is going to be so bad for my bank balance. I know, I'm sorry. The great thing about this is that all of these, I think, right now are in print. So, except for the one that I'm going to show next. So you don't have to buy them all at once. Pace yourself. You know what I mean? Asia says, I think I've seen that deck in Barnes and Noble. It's so nice actually to see the cards. Yeah, it's great to be able to see the cards. I mean, I think this is part of the reason why I wanted to do this, because oftentimes you can't actually see inside. Elena is absolutely an actual gamer. Don't let her fib. Dude, I suck. I just don't know how to play well. It's just what it is. Okay, so that's Nick Bang talk. Where are the other two? Okay, so this deck, I'm trying to remember where this is out of print. This was like a private printing, again, a 90s thing. It's called The Book of Eradia Turo. I mean, it's paper. It's like super, this is super DIY. And it's by, the drawings are by Jean Van Slyke or Slick, and the notes and interpretation are by Shakina Mountainwater. Again, 90s witch. This is old school history right here. And it's just, I think, the major arcana, or it's called the Ether suit. And it relates to the major arcana. I got this on Etsy. I mean, this is straight up DIY. I don't know that she's got any more of these. And getting them to me from, I want to say she was in Scotland. We had some issues with shipping. But I got this strictly because, again, I feel like so much of what I learned and had when I was becoming a witch in the 90s, I don't have anymore, and this is like a nostalgic vibe. So it comes with a suggestion for spreads, and then just the meanings of the cards. These are also circles, like the other deck. This is the back. I mean, these are they're not, this is straight up DIY, in copywritten in 1984. And I got it in the 90s, so, because I wasn't quite identified as a witch at how old was I in 1984? I was 13. Oh my god. This is the Self. This is the first card. They're black and white. The Priestess. So this is basically the major arcana. Very feminine oriented. I mean, you look at the symbols in the back, very feminist oriented. This is Maya. This is Pan. Oh, I love this. This is Aphrodite. I can never say this name. I think it's Bodhisattva. So very goddess, archetype oriented power. I don't know if this is going to translate on camera. This card is Oppression. So yeah, I had to get it. I'm really happy that I did. This is also diverse in race. Beautiful. Okay, one more. This is Athene, and then I gotta stop because we gotta move on to the next one. So yeah, I'm really happy that I got it. It's one of those things, I feel I need to get like another way to pack these, because I feel like this, it's basically construction paper that it's coming in, so I want to help preserve it. All right, so that is it. Hold on. I'm gonna put this on the floor, so excuse me. Because, ooh, tell me if my sound went out because I just pulled the cord. Let me see what is happening here. Jesse says, oh, talking to Gothic Geek, the true black decks kick my ass, tells me what I need to hear, then hits me over the head with it. I love it. Thank you, Siobhan. Gamers just have to play. They don't have to be good. That describes me. All right. Oh crap. Candace says, I wish we could have a conference in person somewhere, talk all kinds of stuff. Yes, I love old school stuff. Yes, Candace, Vegas Conference Center, newly renovated. Oh, that would be dangerous. I was just talking about Vegas too. I haven't been to Vegas in a very, very long time. I can only really handle Vegas for about 3 days because it's a lot. But when it's fun, it's fun. Okay, so not to change the subject, y'all, but I just cooked a really good Philly cheesesteak pasta by Velveeta. It smells amazing. I always want to hear about food, and since we're oh, here, let's Let's have a moment to us. All right. Candace, thank you. Boudica, thank you. That's how you pronounce it. When I see the CEA, I get Spanish and I want to say Saya. I don't know why. I need to get it together. Yeah, Red says, I love how some decks give you different shapes of the cards. Me too. I love it. Looks block printed. I love usually shape. Okay. There are other circle decks as well, which is a perfect segue. So I talked about this at the our live IG on Tuesday. By the way, we do a live IG gathering every Tuesday, 1 o'clock Pacific time, where I do an Oracle deck pull for the week for us, and then we just kind of hang out and do witchcraft Q&A and just talk. So you can join that, and it's free. It's there on IG, and we can hang out every week. But this last Tuesday, I talked about a deck that I shared, and what I did with that particular deck, because I really love the themes and I love the artwork, is that every morning I'd pull one. I'd shuffle, and sometimes I didn't even shuffle. Like I shuffled it once, and I would just pull from the top and just let that card be the guide for my journal practice in the morning. Like what my feelings were around it, what came up for me around that topic, or use the card as a way to question how I felt one way or another about a thing, or how I was that thing, or how I could embody that particular characteristic. So it was a really enriching and super easy to do. Like sometimes we get so caught up in, oh my God, I have to do a complicated thing, and it isn't a ritual unless it's like 50 steps. It was a very simple but deeply transformative, enriching experience. And so the card that I used for the Oracle pull last Tuesday was from a deck that I did that with. And then I said, I think I want to do this again because I'm feeling really inspired by this exercise, and I'll look through the decks that I've pulled out, and I'm going to pick another deck, and I'm going to start that. And I'll probably start it maybe on Sunday. But this is the deck that I chose for that. And you see the other deck that this artist created every Sunday when I pull. I do Inner Revealings Turo reading for our community on Sundays. It's Kim Kranz. I know you all know who this is. It's her The Wilde Unknown Archetypes deck. Let's have a conversation about circle cards. Let's have a conversation about gorgeous books or gorgeous boxes, because it's a hard, sturdy box that opens this way. This is what it looks like inside. Let me just show you this, because this is what turns me on. I'm such a geek. I don't even know. So in terms of the design, I just love that there's this little chevron, this little arrow here that tells you that this is where you open it. It's me. So here's the thing. You open it. You've got a book. And I love that the book itself is like a significant book. This is what it looks like inside. So there's easy to read information, but also like designed in a way that just makes me like happy. She's an amazing artist. Then this is what you see when you take out the book. You've got this. This is another box. So now you pull out the other box. It's chunky, and it says Archetypes, The Wilde Unknown Archetypes by Kim Kranz. You open it, and you have, your little ribbon, and you've got these cards. I love everything about the packaging. I love this deck. This is what's inside the box. And it's all about archetypes, and I felt like it's a tarot deck. It's not a tarot deck. It's it feels like a tarot deck because it starts with, oh God, I mean, come on. This is the Mentor. I just want to take each one of these cards and just spend potentially a whole week just diving into the archetype. And one of the things that you can do when you have, like we've now covered, this is the second or maybe third deck that we've talked about that is archetypally themed, is you can spend a whole lunar cycle on an archetype theme in terms of starting out at the beginning, like the new moon. How am I a mentor? How do I need a mentor, right? And working through the whole phase of the moon, doing different things in terms of looking at it from two different perspectives. How am I going to embody this particular archetype? How do I embody it already? And do meditative practices around enhancing yourself or taking on those characteristics more and more and kind of feeling it out to see how it stretches you, how it challenges you, how it repels you. There's so much that can be done with archetypal work. So this is the deck that I chose for that exercise. I'm just going to pull a card a day and kind of dive into each archetype to see how it resonates with me, how it doesn't resonate with me, what comes up around that, just to see what it does. It's kind of one of those things that you do to see where it leads you, to kind of create more personal gnosis about who you are and stretch you out a little bit. We can get so rigid about who we think we are, what we think our stories truly are, the stories that we cling to that are sometimes super limiting. So I love her artwork. I love that it's at once kind of rudimentary, but also super sophisticated and beautiful. This is the warrior. I don't like the backs of these. Like, I feel like that could have been a better quality thing, but it's what it is. This is the queen. I love that she's combining two collage and illustration with this deck. So this is the deck. This is the crow. Because let's keep showing you cards. I feel like, should I just limit it to 3 cards a deck? Because I feel like I can just show you millions of decks. All right, so there is this. Hold on, let me put this away, and then let me look at. Siobhan says, practical designs just make things better. I have many accents. My life is nuts. It's cute. That's a crazy, it's a beautiful deck. I'll show you her other deck, which is very popular. I'm sure that you've seen her other deck around. Me too. I also talked to, I'm not going to read your conversations with each other because we'd be here literally all day. So Gothic Geek said, just made a mix of, Greek yogurt, strawberries, and honey and cinnamon with a good cup of tea, a good cup of joe. That sounds, you've got to be, are you the one who's New Zealand? Because that sounds like a morning, afternoon kind of thing. Although it could be evening too. I have a wine glass that says crazy cat lady. I have 2 cats. I love it. Dindrain, I think that's how you say your name, says, ugh, I hate it when I'm so late and miss so much. I really wanted to know what you thought of the Sacred Hags. I haven't gotten to the Sacred Hags Turo deck yet. I will. So you're just in time. This deck is on my list for sure. It's a gorgeous deck. Again, all the links to these decks are down below, so you don't have to worry about missing that. That's down below. That's why I love archetype decks, because they're great for meditations, visualizations, and dreamscapes, and understanding different types of people. Yes, I mean, there's so much that can be done with archetype tarot, archetype cards in general. Ko Ung Sun says, I love the archetypes deck. I use it on a monthly, weekly basis. Tried to use it daily, and it just wasn't right for that. Yeah, it can also be incredibly intense, right? Because you're diving deep into some pretty big energy streams, and so sometimes, like I said, you can do daily, you can do weekly, you can do a deck or a card each lunar cycle. Like, you can take the deep. You can also go for a year. One of my dreams, it's not on the books for us anytime soon because this would be a whole big endeavor, is to do a year-long deep dive class into a particular archetype and do a new archetype each year. Like, do a serious 12-month intensive on an archetype. We're not there yet, so don't get excited, but it's one of my dreams. I would love to do that and just kind of get lost in that work. It can be a little destabilizing because if you're in a specific energy stream for that long, it'll shake things up and destabilize you in some ways, but there are ways to kind of stabilize yourself around that kind of work. But one day. Okay. So I'm going to close this. I gotta clean up as I go, because in the workshop where we package the boxes, we have the ABC policy where it's like you got to clear as you go. You got to clear the boxes out. You got to clear I got to clear this out as I go. The other, I'm going to do this really quick, and then I'm going to do another giveaway. So her other deck, this is Kim Cran's. The other deck that's really popular, and most of you probably know, is the Wilde Unknown Tarot. I use this deck for our Sunday Inner Revealings Tarot blog post that I put up on social media and on the website. I really love that she did this deck. It's been out for a while. The illustrations, I remember when I first saw the illustrations, I thought, wow, these are super rustic. I don't know how I feel about it. And then I got it anyway, because, and I fell in love. I just love the work that she's done in this deck. And you see these all over the place. They're really popular. All right. So this is this deck. Some of them are kind of funky. You've got this one. And then there's this, which I love. This is the moon. So that is the other Kim Krans. I think that she actually has, I could be mistaken about this, but I think she might have a third deck that I don't have. Maybe, I could be wrong. Okay, so we're ready for a giveaway intermission. Are you ready? I don't know where the little book is. For those of you who are just joining, we've been doing some giveaways. We've done 2. We've got 2 winners now already. And all of the decks that I'm giving away today have been opened and used by me on a light scale. So know that. Some people don't like that. So if that's not something that you're interested in, don't enter to win. But the way you enter to win is you dump your IG handle in the comments, and Elliot will choose someone randomly out of that, and then you're a winner. So are you ready? So the next deck that we're going to do a giveaway for is called Spellcasting Oracle Cards by Flavia Kate Peters and Barbara Micklejohn Free, if I'm not mistaken. Look at this beautiful cover for the box. So they're Oracle cards. They're by they're by Hay House. It's got a little book. All right, if you're interested, you know what to do. These are also great cards to do that kind of work with. So this is what the deck looks like. This is what the back looks like. And then this is one of the cards. This is the Passion. You'll notice too, most of my cards are pretty feminine in terms of imagery because, you know, I'm a feminine creature and I like to see myself reflected in my sacred items. So know that going in that most of them are going to be pretty feminine oriented. Not all of them, but most. This is Psychic Abilities card. It's a really beautiful deck. All right, I see names coming in. Good luck to all of you. So if you're just joining, we're doing a giveaway. If you want this deck, drop in your IG handle in the chat section so that we can pick a winner from that chat. Boom. Oh, this next one is my favorite. All right, this is the last card I'll show. This is Transformation. Isn't that beautiful? One of the things that I do with Oracle decks that like are, and sometimes Tarot cards as well, Tarot decks, is that when I'm kind of done using them, but they're really beautiful and I've really enjoyed them, I'll just use them as gifts. So I'll take a card and then I'll like decoupage it onto like a cardstock of some sort and then write around it and send it to a friend or put it as part of a gift or use it as something that you kind of create a bigger thing with and give to other people. That's always a fun thing to do because the imagery is so beautiful, and oftentimes people don't want to have used cards, and please don't throw them away. You can do so much with them, and artistically you can put them also in your Book of Shadows as like a journal, right? I use this card, this is the lesson that I got from this card, this is a spell that I did with this card. So that's another way to use these cards. So there's that. All right, I'm going to let Elliot handle the remainder of this giveaway while I take a drink and make a choice about what do I go to next. These are your options. I'm going to actually let you pick. I have a box of Oracle decks that I love, and in that Oracle box are, I think, 1 or 2 that relate to Samhain. Then I also have a box that is got 5 or 6 decks by a particular artist that I love. Her name is Colette Baron Reed. So we can do that. We can do the Colette ones or we can do the Oracle ones. There's also one on animals. There's one on astronomy. And there's one that is just cards created by Stacy DeMarco. So I'll let you choose. Oh, Elliot's closing it. Oh, I feel like I need a cookie. Okay, while that happens, and I hear from you in terms of what you want me to cover, I'm going to have a cookie. Is that okay? And I have to stop drinking coffee. Okay. Magnolias loves Colette. I know. I love Colette. Her Oracle cards are beautiful. I may actually give one of those decks away. Mara says, yes, when I've overused my decks and replaced them, I use them to decorate my grimoires. Beautiful. Dolores, there'll be more. I have more decks to give away. Okay. I needed a cookie break. Hi, have you heard about the great teachings of Yu-Gi-Oh? An amazing teacher highly recommended to study. I have not. The name is familiar, but no, I'm not familiar with the teachings. I find needlework so calming, so I'll definitely check her out. Okay, you guys are talking to each other. I'd love to see your Samhain decks. Okay, so so Samhain. Let's do a Samhain, animals, astronomy. I know. Okay, look, let's just keep going. The box with the Samhain decks, or astrological one, Mara. Okay, let's just do the astrological one. So let's hold on. Okay, this box is hella heavy. Okay, let's just start with the Samhain one. Because we've talked about this, right? Come on. This deck is ridiculous. I love it. This is the one by, so it's Juliet Diaz, Lorraine Anderson, and Giada Rose is the illustrator. This is I fell in love with this deck. This was sent to me by the publisher, Rockport, which I'm so grateful for, because I didn't even know that it was out. I didn't know about it, and then it came in the mail, and I was so excited. It's the best mail to get. This is the book that it comes with. Here's one of the things I love about this deck. Do you see the edging to this? It is unreal. It's so beautiful. Here's the thing about this deck. I love the imagery and I love the titles to the cards, but I never quite jive with the saying underneath the name. I just go with like the title of the card and just riff off of that. This is called Voices. This is Broom, which is beautiful. But see, like, look, for Broom, it'll say, what dreams may come from what you seek, make room, make way, a clearing need be, which is, it's direct. It gives you direction. It gives you some insight into the meaning of the card. But for whatever reason, I just don't jive with it, which is fine. I don't really spend time reading it. I just read the title and I look at the imagery and I get a lot out of that. This is the elements. Look at this. Come on. So beautiful. So it's Seasons of the Witch, Samhain Oracle is the name of this deck. This is the owl card. I love it. I love it. Love it. I know. It's really a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful deck. So yeah, I'm super happy. Potions and Spells. Ritual. This is Reflection. We used this for a while for our Oracle polls on Instagram when we were doing our lives. It's a gorgeous deck. The other Hollows deck that I have, this is the box. Again, and there's links to this down below so that if you want to get it, we have links to that in the description box. The other Samhain deck that I have is in the Stacey DeMarco, if I'm not wrong, Stacey DeMarco box, which we'll get to in a second. But yeah. There's that. I don't know what else Juliet Diaz is doing. I'll have to look it up. But I definitely I pre-ordered the Yule. Okay. Let's get to, I'm in the Oracle box now, so let's just get to the one, right? Because come on now. Right? Am I right? Because The Sacred Hag's Oracle by Danielle Dulski. I mean, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love what she did. I love the artwork. This is the side. The box opens like this. Right? And you've got the deck and the book here. The artwork is exquisite. We had Danielle Dulski join us for our live book coven gathering last month because we had both of her books as part of the book subscription. And then Jewel Mar, I don't know if Jewel Mar is still here. Oh my God, congratulations, we have a winner! Colleen Miller, get down with your bad self. I love it. Okay, so Colleen Miller won that deck. So we were in our live with Danielle Dulski and Jewel Mar kind of like revealed the thing that I didn't know, that one of the cards is actually an illustration of Danielle Dulski herself. I love that. And she's got Blood of the Warriors. This deck is beautiful. It's the Kaliak's Crag. I love the themes and I love the artwork, but what I love more is that each of these cards comes with 2 different rituals and then like a little wisdom teaching. So the amount of work that you can do with each of these cards is really beautiful and deep and cyclical in a way that you can come back to the ritual over and over again and still get something out of it. I just love what she did. I love her work. I love her witchery. I think that she's incredibly deep and beautiful. And this deck, I really love. And when it came out, I pounced on this sucker like you have no idea, because this was just gorgeous. And I knew that it was going to be gorgeous, but I didn't know about the whole system that she's got in the book with how to use these cards. This is Hag of the Oak Grove. The names are beautiful. I can't say enough. Seasons of Spice and Hearth. There's also diversity in these images, which I love. Hag of the South Desert. So beautiful. She did an exquisite job on this. The illustrator for this deck is Janine Houseman. So there's that. Okay, we're 2 hours in. Elliot, tell me if you need to go, because I think I'm just going to keep going until everyone is gone. We lost a few people, but that's okay. We're just going to keep it going. Maybe later. I don't know if we should timestamp this, but anyway, this was this. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Congratulations to Colleen Miller. Wonderful. The Hag's Oracles on my wishlist. Magnolias. It's a beautiful deck. Perfect. Congratulations, congratulations. Oh, this is the one I want. Yeah, this is a gorgeous one. Jill Marriott, Seasoned Wee Moon says, I adore Danielle. However, I have not been able to work with the cards as yet because not only is Danielle in the cards, but the Hag School instructors. I don't know who the Hag School instructors are, so you were in on that little, like you identified them readily, which I thought was amazing. I wouldn't have known that. Mara says, this is so cool when the artist immortalizes the creator in their cards. I know, actually, I had never seen that before, or maybe I just had never paid attention to that, but I really love that. I already have so many of these in my Amazon list. Reading, Writing, Puppet, hello, welcome. Asia, I love Danielle Dulski's work so much. Everything she creates is so sacred. I really have to take time to process her work. Yeah, absolutely. Even reading her books takes me time because it's so deep. Yes. Elliot says, I can hang out at least until you're done with the giveaways. Okay, then I'll do another giveaway soon. Kim Dunfield says, can you give a hint on the deck that will be in the future of the Witch's box? No, because I don't know if we're going to get that deck or not, so I don't want to actually talk about it yet, but it'll probably... I think, if I'm not mistaken, Elliot can correct me, but I think that we may be going for a deck in October, and I don't know if we're going to be able to get it. So, no hint to you. So there you go. Okay, so let me go a little quicker. Let me do what is a deck that I love. I'm going to do this. Oh gosh, where's the other card? These two. I'm going to show you 2 decks. They're not the same artist, but they have... Actually, I shouldn't do these at the same time. Let's not do that. This is a woman named Deborah Koff Chapman, another old school thing. I think this is one of her new decks. I really came to know her in the early 2000s. She was doing... what does she call it? Oh god, touch drawing. I think it's called touch drawing. She was doing, and she's probably at this point still the only person doing this type of drawing that I found to be so beautiful and so transcendent. This is the box. It's called Soul Cards 2. There is another one, and I don't know where I have the other deck because I have both of her decks. And she does this type of drawing that's almost in a trance when she does these, where she layers different layers of different colors of oil painting on a canvas paper, and then over that, she'll just roll swaths of paint over each other, on a canvas, and then over that she'll put like a see-through tissue paper or a very light vellum, and then I think she may even close her eyes, but she does like just kind of shamanically inspired drawings with her fingers where she kind of presses into the tissue paper to push through at varying depths or pressure the different layers of color of the oil painting. I don't think I'm actually explaining this correctly, but this is what comes out of her drawings. It is exquisite. It feels otherworldly to me. I've loved this. I've loved her work forever. It's one of those things from my makings. She doesn't give you a whole lot, if any, explanation about any of this at all. You just get an image. And I love it because it's almost like her people, right, are like a little alien-like, but there's also this very compassionate sweetness to the imagery. I have loved it. So I have two of her decks. I can't find the other one because, you know, I looked and I couldn't find it. It's somewhere probably in my my storage. But I just love the idea of the way she created this artwork. I love the intuitive process that she shares. She has a website where she talks about this. She does classes and instruction on how to do this type of, it's a very trance journey type of artistic process that look at this. It's really beautiful. So I've had this deck for a while, and I'm not this particular deck because this is a newer one, but I've had her work for a while. The first deck that she ever created, I loved. The book, the book that comes in with it basically doesn't tell you the meaning of each card, but tells you how to work with a card that doesn't give you anything other than an image as a way to trigger an avalanche of meaning and downloads. So love it, love it, love it. Okay, let me look at what's happening. I'm going to, okay, Ellie, I actually do need to know from you how much time you can give so that I can plan because, you know, okay, this is what we're going to do. I actually probably need to just make a limit. Let's say that we're only going to stay here for, I don't want to say that, for a full 3 hours, which means we have 45 minutes to go a little faster. If Elliot, you can hang for 45 minutes, then we'll do that, and I'll try to end at some reasonable time. And while I do that, hold on. I will save this video so you can watch it later, so don't worry, because it's 5 a.m. Oh my gosh, Layla, go to bed. Dolly also appears in his deck. Okay, I talked about that. Yep, it'll be available to watch now. Okay, perfect. Sweet dreams. Yes, sweet dreams. Hint, hints. TWB decks, inboxes. Yes, please. Yes, yes, please. Yes, I think that to date we've included 3 decks over the last 3 years or so that we've had the box go out. Yeah, the artwork is beautiful. It's really a gorgeous thing. I really highly recommend checking out her website because she does classes. It's a really beautiful artistic process. And I know a lot of people feel like, oh my God, I can never do the art that she's doing. And it's not even about that. It's about really this trance journey that you go through and feeling intuitively out what you've got in front of you. Really, really beautiful work. Okay. I feel the pressure. So I'm not quite sure how I want to do this because now I feel the pressure. In terms of Oracle decks that I want to show you, I'm going to do a kind of like a segue deck that will take us into the Colette decks, and then I'm going to do a giveaway. So I think I mentioned this in, I don't know where. I have 2 Mists of Avalon or Avalon related decks. I talked about that book, The Mists of Avalon, here on BookTube. I'm not going to really get into that here, but the mythology of Avalon is really something that's very deep and dear to me for reasons that I'm still excavating, right? This is by Rose and Sarah. And the deck is really beautiful, and it just highlights themes and imagery and aspects of the myth, the Arthurian legend, and Avalon and the Lady of the Lake. So the artwork isn't necessarily artwork that I feel is amazing. It's beautiful, but it's not like something that really grips me, but it's really more the theme. So this is the Abbey. This is the Tor. This is the Isle of Avalon. So it's a really lovely deck. I have used this deck. This is the Chalice Well, which I've been to. I've been to the Tor, I've been to the Abbey, I've been to the two chalices, or to the two wells, the White Spring I've been to. Um, I've used this deck not necessarily for a reading, but as a continued portal into what this connection is for me, right? So I use it really as an inspiration, like a way in into a deeper meditation to kind of open up and download what the connection for me is, because it's something that really it's a strange connection that I still haven't fully been able to flesh out. This is the Sacred Grove. So sometimes it's like that, where the artwork isn't necessarily something that I feel is like gorgeous and I have to have, but the theme, the words really speak to something else for me, and I'll use them for that. So that's this deck. And I'm using this deck as a segue. I'm kind of skipping over some oracle cards here because now I feel like, oh God, we got to finish. I'm using this deck to segue into the Colette Baron Reed decks, which are a lot. Because in this deck is another, and this is the giveaway, so we have another giveaway happening, is the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle cards that Colette Baron Reed created. I don't resonate that much with this, even though I love her artwork. You can tell too, her artwork has changed over time, and I'll show you some of those decks now, after I do this one. But this is the giveaway. This is an Avalon deck as well. And I'm going to show you, this is the book that comes inside. So if we're doing another giveaway, now you know. Let's see your IG handles. I haven't used this deck as much as the other because it just didn't speak to me the way the other one did. So if you want this, we need your IG handle. You can throw your IG handle in, in the sidebar, and Elliot will manage that, and then we'll announce the winner. So this is the Merlin. This is the High Priestess. And on the cards, these cards, it'll actually tell you what the meanings behind these cards are. So discernment, prescience, prophecy, and vision. This is the King. It's a really, really beautiful, it's a beautiful deck. It's interesting because I love the artwork more in this deck than I do the other, but this is the deck that I don't know what it was. It didn't quite do it for me. So this is the one I'm giving away. This is the Grail Knight. So again, it's all of the different themes around Avalon and the Arthurian legend. This is Lady of the Lake. This is the Eagle. All right, so if you're interested and you want a chance to win, drop your IG handle in the chat box and Elliot will choose a winner. And I'm going to pack this up, put it to the side, and pick the next deck. Let's see. I don't actually know a lot, if anything, about Colette Baron Reed, other than I stumbled onto one of her decks a while ago, and I loved it, and then I just couldn't stop. So I got quite a few of her decks. They all have a very particular vibe. So this is the Good Tarot by her. Oh wait, I haven't shown you the top of that. This is the top of the box. Okay, and then I'm going to show you the deck. I know that you guys are still doing the giveaway, but now I feel like I need to get it together. These are the art for this particular deck. So this is not the deck anymore that we're giving away, but this is another Colette. This is her tarot deck, and it's called the Good Tarot. All right. It's closed, so let's see who's going to win. While I show you, this is the High Priestess. This is a beautiful, I just love her work. It's very ethereal. There's a lot of complexity to her drawings and to what she does. I really, really love it. This reminds me of someone else that I'll show you in a second that's also very old school. This is the Hierophant. I love this card. It's gorgeous. So that's that. Again, this is the Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reed. I love her artwork. I love her artwork. Hey, Farrell, welcome. We just ended a giveaway, but I'll do another one soon. Just under the wire cam. Perfect. Okay, good. So I'm going to keep going with the Colette Baron Reed cards. This I've used in our IG lives, and I bought both of these together. I bought the Spirit Animal Oracle, and this was done in partnership with, am I wrong? No, this is just all her. Okay, yeah, so it's the Spirit Animal Oracle deck, which I did not include in my animal deck box because I wanted to do a whole Colette box, and then the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. I love both of these decks. Let me show you one first and then I'll show you the other. This one comes in a larger box that also includes the book, and it's a substantive book, which I love. Excuse me. This deck, again, it's the same kind of ethereal, you've seen it, artwork that I just really, really love. This is easier for me. I love this kind of artwork, but it makes it easier for me to kind of get into a trance meditative state because there's something so dreamy about it that it leaves a lot of space for your imagination to kind of wander and expand. This is the crow. So even though this is not the animal deck, this has got a lot of animal in it, which I love. I really love because it taps into very specific energetics that way that I love. This is the Beauty Way card. It's a beautiful, one more, the Hunter. This is the back of these. It's a really, I love her. I love her. All right, so that's that deck. It's very dreamy, and this is the deck. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous one. Okay. So the animal one, I'll show you really quickly. I should have started speeding up from the beginning. So this is the animal one, right? And it's this kind of a box. And it's got the book. This feels like a very festive deck for me. I don't know why, but it's just very bright. I love it in the spring. This is the dragonfly. The backs. This is the back of the card of the cards. Hold on. The Scarab Beetle Spirit, Swan Spirit, Time for a Deep Dive. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful deck. Very, very dreamy. Right? It's beautiful. Someone, Chelsea, just said, jump to the top of your list. It's it's just beautiful, beautiful. So again, links to all of these decks are down below in the description box, so you won't miss out on anything. So, and then this is so sweet. This is Pig Spirit. Use your mind wisely. Look at how cute this is. Here's another one. Okay. And this is the last one for this deck because I'm speeding up. So that's that. And then I've got two others of her decks. I may actually give another one away of her decks. So, hold on. Let's see where we are at with the comments. I really like Colette's work, but sometimes I feel like more credit should go to the artists that make the deck. I thought she was the artist that made the deck. Now I'm really confused. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that, Asia. I'll check that out because I thought that actually she was the one who was the artist. Yeah, the crow is beautiful. I'm going to need a bigger home. Oh, I love it. Okay, so the next Colette. Oh my God, Jessie! Jessie won! All right, congratulations to Jessie. What do I want to show you? This deck is the Enchanted Map Oracle cards. Comes with the book. This also, just the design of the box and the book remind me of Mist and Nick Bantock. So I'm going to do a giveaway for this deck as well. So we're doing another giveaway. Let's just go crazy. Are you ready, Elliot? We're doing another giveaway for the Colette Baron Reed Enchanted Map Oracle. Comes with the book. And these are the deck. These are sweet. And there's a lot of interesting little, I don't know if you're going to see it on camera, but little hidden details that you can't readily see because it looks like a pretty straightforward image, but there are like little hidden gems in there. This is the Gentle Gardener. This is a really lovely oracle deck with beautiful themes. Wizard of Awareness. So this is a giveaway. If you want it, yeah, start throwing it down. We're going to pick up the pace. This is Spirit of Place. It's I love this card. Goblins. It's probably not going to translate well on camera. Mountain. All right, I'm going to show 2 more cards. So get in your names if you want to win. And then we're going to move on. Elliot, let me know if I'm going too fast. This is Into the Unknown. I'm going to have to investigate that. I don't know why I was under the impression that Colette was actually the artist, because there are definitely some themes throughout each of the decks, even though the artwork is a little different. This is Come Together. This is an interesting card, Storm the Fields. Okay. This is the giveaway. This is the deck. I'm going to start switching out to another deck to share with all of you. So while I do that, you guys can handle your entry to win. This is going to go on this pile. This is what I'm keeping. You're right. Colette Baron Reed, and it's illustrated by Jenna Della Rotaglia. I should have paid more attention to that. This is the goddess. So really quickly, if you don't know what's going on, right now we're in the middle of a giveaway. So people are posting their IG handle to enter to win the last deck, which is this one. And I'm moving on really quick because we're going to close this out at the top of the hour because we've been on here for forever. So this deck is the Goddess Power Oracle, also by Colette Baron Reed, but it's illustrated by Jenna Della Grotaglia. I was mistaken, and I thought that it was actually Colette who was the artist. Oh, hold on, I dropped. I'll pick it up later. So these are all goddesses. This is Aphrodite. This is Arianrod. Excuse me. This is Artemis. This is something else that we talked earlier about working with archetypal cards. The same thing. If we're working with different deities, there are archetypes as well. So you can work with decks like these in the same way. Though I would say that a goddess or a deity a day is a little, it's a little too much. I would do maybe a goddess a season, or even, because you know I go long, one a year, where you spend an entire year in an archetype that is a deity. This is Bronwyn. So these are really, really lovely. All right. So the giveaway for that previous deck is closed. I'm going to put these away really quickly. Okay. So I'm going to try to do, what time is it? Half an hour. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the astrology focused cards next, even though I just skipped 2 herbal ones. Let me do the 2 herbal ones first. You've seen both of these. We sent these cards out in one of our boxes several months ago, and the extra decks that we had are in, not all, but some of our herbal mystery boxes. But we sent this out, the Hedge Witch Botanical Oracle. And I love this because it's so simple. It's so clean. It really, there's so many different things that you can do with this. You can use it as an oracle deck, but you can also use it as a learning experience for spending time with a specific botanical. So we sent this out, and it's not a guarantee. If you buy, we still have herbal boxes. By the way, we have a sale going on right now. So the code to our sale is Solstice on our store. Some of the herb mystery boxes has these decks inside. Some of them do not. Because we had extra, but they're really, really beautiful. So we've got Foxglove, and she's got Connection as its meaning. So it's just a beautiful way to combine oracle work with learning botanicals and developing deeper relationships with botanicals. So it's a really beautiful deck in that way, and I love how simple and clean the illustrations are. But then you've got this deck, and I know that a lot of you have seen this. This is making the rounds right now. This is the Green Witch Oracle by Sherilyn Darcy. Do we have a winner? Hold on. Oh, Farm Girl Ka did receive the deck in the mystery box. I'm glad. Yeah, it's a really lovely. It's just I love it. It's super informative. But then there's this one. I love this too. This is making the rounds. It's new. It's a little bit messier. I like my art messy too. So it'll give you carrots and its clarity. So it's the same idea. It'll pair a botanical or a food or a vegetable with symbols and different meaning. It's a really sweet deck that I love. I love, I love, I love. They did such a great job with this. So what is this? This is cost lettuce, which is desire, and it has all these symbols on the card. Really lovely. Okay, this is the last one to show from this deck because they're all like this, but just different. I'll show one more because I can't help myself. So there's that. So both of those decks are botanical, food, plant life oriented. So I wanted to show that. This is part of the Oracle box. And I'm going to quickly, now I'm just jumping around to my favorite things. So this is old school. And I have another of these decks somewhere that are animal related that I'll probably jump into the animal box after this. This is an artist that has long passed. Her artwork was making the rounds on a lot of book covers and a lot of different things in the 90s and the early 2000s. She had decks that she created. She passed, but it was at the time it was like the artwork of an era of witches, and it's Susan Sedan Boulay. This is a small deck. It's called Goddesses, and the other deck that she has, which I think is right here, I'll just show both, is Animal Spirits guide cards. Both are her artwork. I'm going to show you the artwork because I know that you've seen this artwork in other places. She licensed out her artwork at one point very limitedly, and then people were stealing her artwork everywhere because, you know, this is how we roll. So wait, hold on a second. Congratulations. Oh, the reading writing puppet. Congratulations, you won. Woohoo! I love it. So we've given away 1, 2, 3, 4. We've given away 5 decks. I still have 1 or 2 more. Okay. The stream's current bit rate is higher than recommended. Okay, I don't know what's happening. We have 30 minutes more to go. So Susan Boulay, I know you've seen these cards. I know that well, maybe you haven't seen the cards, but you've seen the artwork. It's a very, this is what I term to be shamanic in terms of the themes, but also the dreaminess. There's just this gorgeousness to the cards. So these cards, you'll have the imagery. This is her artwork in the front, and then you'll have the whole reading in the back. So this is Inanna. This is like, these are sentimental cards that I still pull out often to do work with. This is Etain. This is Fortuna. It's just an exquisite, exquisite art. I have never seen anyone do anything like this ever since, even though this is Venus. So they come with the teaching in the back. One of the things, because, you know, I can't not criticize design, one of the things that I wish she would have not done in these decks, because you'll see it in the animal deck that I'll show you as well, is that everyone is full bleed in terms of the design on the card, but then you'll get one of these, and this makes me twitchy. Like, there's like 3 cards in here that have a border. It's very strange. This is another card. It's just really, really gorgeous work. This is probably an image that people have seen before, Lady of the Lake. But for many of you, I think some of this artwork is probably super familiar. It's really beautiful. So there's that. So that's this deck. I'm going to quickly show you a couple of her animal deck cards, and then we're going to move on. Just, hold on. I'm tempted to not put these away, but if I leave a mess on my desk, it'll just make my life really hard. It's a beautiful deck. So then this is also the same artist. I want to say she was Brazilian, or she lived in Brazil and she died. Maybe she died in the 90s. It's been a very long time, and these books are still out there. So this is from her Animal Spirits deck. Again, this I don't like. There's this difference in design, but this is Tiger, and they come with the information on the back. This is Swan. This is a gull, as in a seagull, I guess. Oh, this is a beautiful one. Polar bear. And because we're owl people here, this is owl. So, and then Again, I think this image has been around a lot on the internet. So there's that. Susan Sidon Goulet. The links are down below. I highly encourage, the artwork is just transcendent. It really is. And I've never seen, there are works of art out there that are similar in vibe, but never to the detail that she had. It's just really gorgeous. Okay, we have 30 minutes. Actually, we have 25 minutes. Animals, Stacey DeMarco, or astrology. Those are your choices. Tell me. Let me drink something while you do that. And then let me read what's happening here. Beautiful, yes. Beautiful artwork. Okay, I'll contact you. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Tell me if you want astronomy, Stacey DeMarco cards, or animal cards. I don't know who we're talking about. Lorelei, oh my goddess, I love his work. Did you get his Cosmic Oracle? Are we talking about James Eads? Oh no, I wonder why they did that with, yeah, I don't know why they did that with the border, because it's like everything is super consistent and then you've got like 4 cards in the entire deck with the border and it's like, don't do that. But again, this is like in the 90s, you know. What do we know about design in the 90s? Oh gosh. Okay, so I got one for Stacy, astrology, animals, astrology, Stacy, astrology, astrology. Okay, let's do astrology, and then we'll do Stacy because there aren't that many for Stacy, and then we'll end with animals since we might have to cut that short. And then, yeah, okay. I'd like to have some completed. Oh wait, hold on. I've got 2 more decks to give away too. So, okay, so before I transition, let's do another giveaway. Did we send this deck out? I don't think we sent this deck out. This is Dreams of Gaia Turo. So we're doing a giveaway, another one, because we gotta like get it together. It's a huge box. This is the side. So if you want this, now is the time for you to start dropping your IG handle in the thing. It's a pretty hefty book. This is the back of it. The art for this deck is gorgeous. Gorgeous! Okay, so let me show you. It's a tarot deck, but again, the names are a little different than what you're used to. So instead of the Fool, you've got Choice, right? So they're a little different. This is one card. Know that when you get these cards as your like prize for getting the giveaway, they're not going to be fully, some of them are going to be in order because I put some of them in order and then I just didn't have time to reshuffle everything for you. So just know that because I've opened them, I've looked through them, they're not going to fully be in order. This is the Youth card. So it's really lovely. It's a mixture of art for this deck, but I also really love the themes and the names of the cards that the artist has chosen or the creator has chosen. So this is the Father. This is the Crone. This is the Sage. And this is Death, Rebirth. Powerful card. So there's that. Yeah, post now if you want to win this deck. It's the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. And it comes in a lovely box. I will probably not put these in order for you. So you're definitely going to get cards that are out of order. Sorry. I got to make choices about how I spend my time. So this is what we're doing the giveaway on right now. And while you all put your name, your IG handle in the chat box, I'm going to move on to the next box. So let's do really quickly astrology, which is a quick one. And then we'll move to animals. So hold on. Okay, let's see if I can make this work. This is the Moonology Oracle cards by Yasmin Boland. I know a lot of you have this deck. This is a super simple, it's a super simple deck that I feel is really great for people who want to work with the moon and want to have like a supplement to kind of help you work with the moon. It gives you themes for different lunations in a really pretty way, but it's super simple, and I think that that's can be so helpful. So this is, did I show you? This is what it is. And this is the new moon, which is a new start is coming again, because, right, if you aren't used to working with the phases of the moon, you aren't used to tracking, this is a great way, this is a great tool to overlay over your lunar work to help get you more ingrained and intertwined with the rhythms of the moon and the meanings of the different moon phases. So this is a waxing crescent moon. So as you see, they're really simple. This is the first quarter moon. Your commitment is being tested. Simple, but they're really, I think, super effective. Surrender to the divine. Oh, this is a disseminating moon. Take time to breathe out. So again, super simple, but I really feel like if you want support in working with the moon, these can be really amazing. Full moon in Scorpio. So you've got moon, the moon phases, you've got moon in signs that you can work with. New moon and Aquarius, so different lunation cycles and different signs. Really quite lovely deck. So there's that. That's Moonology Oracle cards by Yasmin Bolin. Okay, so the giveaway for that last deck is closed. We're gonna wait to see who won. Yeah, the messages on the deck, Mara, are really lovely. This, like, let's start like supporting small artists on Etsy and on Instagram. This is an account on Instagram, and I believe it's themoon_journal. This is how the deck comes. It's a very small deck. I want to say that I actually sent out this deck really early on, maybe in in our box history, but it just comes with like the meaning of each lunation cycle. Super simple. I don't know if you can see it. And then it's just these sweet hand illustrated cards. I mean, there's only like 16, I think, but these are the cards that you get. I really love this. I've used this too on my Ultra. It won't tell you the lunation cycle here, but it will on the paper, and then it has a theme for each lunar phase. Very sweet, very lovely, simple. I love that she did this. And again, the IG handle is themoon_journal. I don't even know if these are being sold anymore. I've had these for a few years. This is the release. So it's really quite lovely. It's super small. There aren't that many more. But one of the things that I love too is that when you find an artist that isn't even published by a big publisher and mass produced, these are just little art pieces that you can work with and have and save. So I really, really love it. Okay, so a friend of mine has that one. I love working with the moon. I love that one. Okay, beautiful. That would be great for Artemis Altar. Gorgeous. Writing. Okay, so writing the Witch's Box. I had to email because Instagram didn't let me message. Okay, perfect. You can email us at info@thewitchesbox.com if you need to email us. I have been really curious about this one, the Moonology. Yeah, and there's also, I think, Donna, I think that there's a book that she wrote that doesn't fully correspond just with the Oracle deck. There's more in there, but there is a Moonology book, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I'm right. I don't have the book. You've seen the artwork all over Pinterest. Okay, so these are the two astrology ones. And then this is, someone asked early on when we first started, what is the latest deck that I have? It's this one. It's called Heavenly Bodies Astrology, the Deck and Little Guidebook by Lily Ashwell. This artwork is super light and super subtle, so I don't know how much you're going to be able to see on the camera. I saw this. I thought, oh God, this is so lush and gorgeous. I have to have it. It came in the mail maybe a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. So when you take the sleeve off, you've got this beautiful box. I haven't really sat down to really fully play with this yet, but when I saw it, it was like, holy cow, I have to. Look, you open it. This is what I love. It's the art. Look at this box inside. This is the book. Oh God, we have 15 minutes. Okay, hold on. It's a hardcover book, and then you've got the deck, which also, the deck comes in its own box as well, inside the bigger box. It's really beautiful. It's very light. in terms of the color scheme. And then you open it and it's this artwork, which I love. So this card is the Sun, self-express and embody truth. It's so lovely. I love it. This is like me on a really crisp summer day checking out cards. The Moon is satisfy emotional needs, nurture self and others. I'm super excited to dive into this deck. It just has such a light feeling to it. This is Mercury. This is Venus. I'm not really going to read the bottoms right now because we have 15 minutes. This is Mars. And this is Saturn. Okay, and that's it. That's it for the astrology cards. However, should I segue really quick? I'm not going to segue because we talk about that book all the time. Okay, so that is that for astrology. We have 15 minutes. Let me see what you're saying. Congratulations to Layla. Woohoo! I'm so excited. Oh, I love it. Shout out to the artist Annabelle Lewis for anyone who missed her Witches of the Legend Oracle on Kickstarter. So Kim, I don't know about that. So if you don't mind, although I think that these comments will be visible in the playback so that people can check out suggestions that you've all made. Hold on. I want to jump really quickly. I know I shouldn't be doing this. I'm going to jump to Stacey DeMarco because one of her card decks is a giveaway. So we're going to start another giveaway. Elliot, I'm going to start getting quicker because I have some announcements at the end of this. Be completely off grid in the woods. I am an hour from Folsom and 45 minutes. Girl, that's far. Okay. Okay, really quickly, Stacey DeMarco, because someone talked about Samhain and other cards, and we've already showed 2 Samhain cards, or one that was Samhain related and one that was Santa Muerte related. And then there's the Halloween Oracle. We've sent this deck out twice in the history of the Witches box because this deck is just luscious, amazing, all the things. I'm not giving this deck away, but I'm going to give one of her other decks away. So I wanted to do this really quick because someone asked about it, but it comes with the book. The imagery is just amazing. Look, stop, come on. So, and Hollows is just around the corner because really time flies. But this is a gorgeous deck with incredible imagery. Great for oracle readings during the Samhain season. And for me, the Samhain season is literally all of October, all of November. I mean, I roll for 2 months because I can't let it go. This is a winter card. Okay, I'm going to show, let's see, maybe a couple more, and then we're going to move on to the deck that we're going to give away, the Cauldron card. So this is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous deck. Let me find my favorite card, and then we're going to move on. I mean, this is the Underworld card. Come on. Who doesn't want this imagery in their life? Come on. So this is the other Hollows deck, or Hollow Samhain related deck that we've got, and it's by Stacey Marco. So I had to go there. Okay, we're gonna do another giveaway. Are you ready? This is the Elemental Oracle by Stacey DeMarco, and the front says Alchemy, Science, and Magic. So there's that. We're doing a giveaway, so get on it because we're gonna see we want to see a bunch of your IG handles in order to enter to win. This is the book that comes with. It's pretty like, I don't know what is this called when it's reflective like this? There's a name. Iridescent? Is that what the name is? So this deck has got interesting, funky themes. So this is the biome, its connection, and it's just got a series of sigils. And this is the back. This is another card. Who said that? Mara says, ooh, I need it. This is Snow. I really love her cards. I love her artwork. This is Rain. It's a beautiful deck. I know I'm going so fast. I'm so sorry, but I feel like I want to get in as much as possible. It's holographic. Is that what it's called? Okay, so holographic. Thank you, Elliot. Like there's a name for it. This is Magnetism. I really love the themes and the words that she's got in this particular deck. This is Dark Matter, which I love. So much that we can do there. Okay, so I'm going to show you one more card and I'm going to move on really quick. This is Gravity. This is a gorgeous card as well. I toyed with giving this away only because I thought these are really cool cards to use as gifts in different bundles for people. But I thought, no, let's just give the cards away. So there you go. This is it for, so Melissa has had her eye on this one. So this is it for this giveaway. I have got one more deck to give away. So I'm going to keep plowing through. All right. And really quick, because we were on astrology, I know you're tired of me and this deck because I keep pushing it down your throat. This is the Queen of the Moon Oracle. So this is another this is an astrology deck, sort of. It's lunar focused, but I had it in the Stacey DeMarco box because it's all her work. This deck went out last December in the box. So we've actually sent out quite a few decks in our mystery box, or not a mystery box, in our subscription box. I love this deck. I'll never let this deck go. Each card is a lunar phase and a theme. So this is the Dark Moon and it's the Void. This is Waxing Crescent and its Realization. This is Waxing Gibbous and it's the Will. I know that you guys are still doing the, let's see, anything, cards that strike. I love this. This is the Fear card and it's the Waxing Gibbous. So there's that. One more. This is Waxing Crescent. No, this is Waning Crescent and its Protection. It's a really beautiful deck that can also help you go through each phase of the moon with a particular theme to work on. If you're kind of at a loss for, I want to work with the moon, but I don't know what else to do. Do I just manifest and cut away? Like what else can I do? Decks like this can really be super beneficial. So that's that. I am going to do one deck and then I'll do another giveaway. It's our last giveaway. Because holy cow, we've got 9 minutes. Samhain is a daily thing. It is. The black cat card looks like my cat. Awesome. The embroidery forest. Oh gosh, there's so many cards that I have not shown you. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of animal decks. 2 that are related to the crow because I love the crow. The first one is the Crow Turo by M.J. Cullinane. I'm not sure that I'm pronouncing this correctly. I wish this deck came in a different box. Those of you who've been watching or looking at or reading our Inner Revealings Tarot posts every week, I went through a whole phase where I was using these cards. I think it was a year ago for that. I love this deck. I'm going to show you a couple of cards because it's all about the crow. And then I'm going to show you the other crow deck that I have. And I think we're going to have to stop, even though, oh man, even though there's still a few left. Okay, so, I can't tell. This is this crow deck. Let me show you the other crow deck that I really, really love. Oh! No. Please don't do this. We can't see. Okay, stop. Okay. Can you hear me though? Elena, please come back for another video like this. I can still see. I'm kind of frozen. Oh, please don't freeze. It says excellent connection, analytics, viewer activity, stream health. Health is, it says that my health is working. Hold on. Oh Jesus, I don't know what to do. We're totally frozen, but it says that I'm still alive. Everything says it's good. Okay, I know that you're all talking to each other and you can hear me, but you can't see me. I have audio. Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Video is frozen. Yeah. Okay, so maybe it's just like we wore it all out. So let's do this. Let's call it quits. Maybe this is a sign. We've got like 10 minutes left. Let me say a couple of things before we cut it all out. I obviously still have a couple of more decks to show you, and maybe what I can do is on next Tuesday on IG Live, I'll do the remaining 6 decks that I've got, and we can do that there. However, this is what I want to let you know. Next Friday, at 10 a.m. in the morning. I'm revitalizing the whole uh, I know it's a sign that we have to go. I'm revitalizing the whole Witch Meditate series. So we're going to get together on Friday mornings at 10 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Standard Time, to do live guided meditations, because this is part of me moving us more and more into a direction where we can get together and just do the work. Let's just get together and do transformative ritual work as we can. And I feel like at least for YouTube, I don't ever really want to do major rituals on such a live platform, but guiding us all through a guided meditation that's themed, I think is a really great way to do this in a way that's accessible and that's free for all of us. So starting next Friday, that's happening. And there will be announcements in our newsletter. There will be announcements here on YouTube. There will be announcements on IG. So all of that to say, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I love that we did this. I love that it lasted 3 hours and I ran out of time and my camera's like, enough. And so who knows, maybe in the future we'll do other, like, I don't know that we can do, we'll probably, I don't know, we'll see. I don't know that we can do happy hour hangouts, only because our team is all over the globe and this is a horrible time zone for everybody else. But I had a great time. So thank you for hanging out with me. And I love you all. I love that you came to do this. And I'm so grateful for all of you winners, because you're going to have these beautiful cards and you're going to give it beautiful homes. So I can't wait to see, like, show pictures and tag us, because I want to see what you're doing with these cards. And I don't really want to hang up because I want to keep reading what you're all saying. Oh, I love it. Okay, how do I end this? This will be in the replay, so you can watch all of this later. Thank you, Elliot. Thank you so much for managing all this. And all right, mwah, love you all. See you later. Bye. Holy coal.